at work, or with your kids, no matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
KCUV Tucson, a Cumulus Media station. The Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Wigman on a quarterback run. Left side, over the 35, over the 40. Breaks another tackle to midfield. Near side of the 45, down to the 40, and finally out of bounds. Well, Wigman has taken over this game now, running the ball for Houston. The Wildcats have not figured out how to stop him.
On to Colorado for homecoming Saturday in what will be a beautiful Boulder. I don't know if there's probably a better time to go to a game in Boulder than late October, early November. It's not cold yet, and it's not super hot. I mean, this is about as perfect a fall day to play football as probably you're going to get if you're the Arizona Wildcats. And that's what's going to happen on Saturday in Boulder. Homecoming Saturday for the Buffaloes. Can the Wildcats undo their 2-game losing streak and get back on the winning track? And what's funny is right now, these are two teams that neither one of them can really stop the run. I mean, the Colorado Buffaloes are getting bulldozed, absolutely bulldozed on the ground right now. I forget the stat I saw. I didn't write it down. But I think there's 136 teams in Division 1, all of Division 1, not just Power 4, but all of Division 1. And they are like 134th in run defense. That's how bad Colorado's run defense is. They gave up over 400 yards rushing in that game last weekend against the Utah Utes. Now, again, that could be an outlier. It could be an outlier to what they're really what they really are. I mean, Utah's good. Utah can run the football. Utah's got a couple of guys on that offensive line that are projected to be first-round picks. So there's that part of it in terms of what happened in Salt Lake City for this team, this Buffaloes team. But still, it's not just that. They have not been able to stop the run all season long. So, again, what's Arizona going to do? That was right. 134th out of 136 FBS teams in rushing defense. They're allowing 217 yards per game on the ground. And in the last 2 games, with that 400-plus performance by Utah, they have allowed 658 yards rushing. So is it going to be a steady dose? Is it going to be a steady dose of Ishmael Mahdi, Kedrick Reesino, Quincy Craig? Or is Seth Gagey going to come out and say, we're going to air raid and we're going to throw the ball around? What do you want? What do you want? this offense to do tomorrow? Based on just what I just told you about Colorado, who cannot, they couldn't stop the run right now if they wanted to. They've dealt with a lot of you talk about injuries like last year, the injuries that our defense went through. A lot of our injuries were on the backside of the defense. A lot of their injuries are on the front side of the defense. And so they're down to like third string guys on the defensive line right now. So what do you want to see Arizona do tomorrow? Do you want to stick with this air raid scheme that we've got? Put the ball in Noah's hands and let him fling it around to Chris Hudson and Luke Weissong and Trey Spivey and all that, or do you want your guy Seth Doege to load up behind this offensive line and give the ball in heavy doses to Kedrick Reesano, Ishmael Mahdi, and Quincy Craig. And we can throw the young guy in there, too, if we'd like. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. What do you, J-Dub, want to see Arizona's offense do tomorrow in Boulder?
Don't overthink it. In addition to being the worst run defense, DK, by 25 yards a game in conference. So they're the 16th worst rush defense in the Big 12 out of 16 teams. They give up 27 yards a game more than the 15th ranked team. On the other side of that coin, DK, is they only give up 210 yards through the air. So, this is one of the better secondaries, one of the better teams at slowing down the passing game. So if you're talking about the worst, and injuries is the real story. I think they're down to like 5 or 6 scholarship players on that front end of run stopping. So I think you have to, I don't know if you change up the air raid and change your offense, obviously, but you want to maybe shift the number of runs called in tomorrow's game a little bit more than we've seen recently, because that's where they're susceptible, and especially chunk drives, right? We want to see them sustain drives. One of the issues with this offense has been it's all or nothing. So we've seen a lot of 3-and-out, 4-and-out type situations. Just keep the chains moving, DK. A team that can't stop the run is a team that's susceptible to Arizona dominating the time of possession and just keeping the ball in their possession for as much as the game as possible.
On the flip side, you've got a quarterback in Caden Salters who can run the football, and that's been a problem for the Arizona Wildcats at least over the course of the last 2 games. So if you're the Buffaloes, are you putting the ball into Caden Salters' hands with that quarterback power, like what we heard at the top of the broadcast and what we saw from Connor Wegman and what we saw from Bear Bachmeier? And do you put the ball in Caden Salter's hand and make him allow him to try to go beat this Arizona team on the ground and prove what Danny Gonzalez came out and said this week, that we're gonna stop this quarterback power. If it's the last thing I do on this planet, we're gonna stop the quarterback power. So says Danny Gonzalez. If you're Deion Sanders, is that what you're doing on that side? Are you saying, okay, all right, Caden, go for it. And he's run for over 400 yards this year, so he's a guy that certainly can do it. Do you do that if you're Deion Sanders? 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. We want to hear from you today on what you think this Wildcat offense should do. And if you're Deion Sanders, I love to say, if I were this person, if you were Deion Sanders, are you putting the ball in your quarterback's hands and saying, go out there and get me big chunks of yards in this contest on the ground? It's going to be interesting tomorrow in Boulder. All right, we got a lot for you today. It is Friday. We always have a lot for you on Friday. We're going to talk, in fact, we'll talk Colorado, Arizona, with the man who's going to call the game on the other side, Mark Johnson. Love having Mark on the show. He's great, great play-by-play man. Mark Johnson was the voice of a lot of people don't know his history. He was the voice of the Syracuse Orangemen before he took the job in Colorado. And prior to going to Syracuse, he was the voice of the Illinois State Redbirds back in my hometown, or one of my hometowns, of Normal, Illinois. Now, he was there way after I left. I mean, I think he was there in the early 2000s, late 90s or something of that nature. But I actually applied for that job as a young play-by-play guy and lost out to Mark Johnson. So there you go. I don't know if I've ever told him that or not. I think I told him that long time ago because Mark also used to do a lot. He used to work at KOA in Denver and used to do some stuff with the Rockies. And I actually had him on a talk show, I think, when I was still in Cleveland. So he's been in Colorado for a long time.
Do you think he wore his cowboy hat in Syracuse or just in Colorado?
That's a good question. Yeah, I don't know if the
did he adapt to the Boulder lifestyle? Or
I don't
has that
know
always
if
been
the
his thing?
cowboy hat. Yeah, cowboy Mark Johnson. I don't know if the cowboy hat would go over.
That's
in
my
Syracuse.
point. That's my point exactly. Like I got family in upstate New York, DK. I've been through there a lot, and I've not seen a single
ask
cowboy
him
hat.
that next time. Next time we talk to him, we'll have to ask him about, hey, were you wearing the cowboy hat in Syracuse, New York? Were you wearing the cowboy hat in Normal, Illinois? Because, I mean, yeah, you might see some. I'm trying to remember the
I
high
have an
school.
answer. He's from North Dakota. So
Okay.
there's your answer.
There you
So,
go.
yes,
So
he's
been
always
wearing
worn the
it.
cowboy
He's
hat.
worn it. Yeah.
Always. Yeah.
He could get away with that more in Normal, Illinois, Central Corn Country, Illinois. There's a lot of cow kids in that part of the country. Although I don't remember. I'm trying to rack my high school brain here to see if there were a lot of kids that wore cowboy hats. I don't remember that when I was in
Here's your clue.
when I was in school.
Here's a part of his bio. You ready?
Okay.
A native of Hillsborough, North Dakota, graduated from Grand Forks Central High School, where he's an all-state basketball player. His hobbies include spending time with his family, riding horses, and playing with his 2 dogs, hunting and fly fishing.
There you go.
So, yes, always been a cowboy hat enthusiast.
Cowboy. So we'll talk to Cowboy Mark Johnson about his Colorado Buffaloes and what that's all about. Also, yesterday was the Arizona Bowl luncheon over at the Convention Center. Great event. I don't know how many people were there, but they had like almost 80 tables, and every table sits 10, and it looked like there was pretty much people at every table except for like one. And so I don't know. I mean, I know there's a lot of people there. I don't know if there was 800 people there, but there were a lot of people there yesterday. And one of the people that was there, Snoop Dogg was not there, for those of you that might be asking. He did not come in for the luncheon. He did not come to Tucson to have lunch with us.
Snoop doesn't seem like much of a luncheon kind of guy.
Yeah, I don't think you're doing lunch or brunch with Snoop Dogg. But Brian Urlacher did come and have brunch with us. And we had a chance to catch up with Brian Urlacher before the event. So you'll hear that today. Coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Great guy. You've probably heard, if you've listened to some of the Danny Gonzalez stuff, that he and Danny played together at the University of New Mexico back in the day. So, we got a chance to talk to Brian Urlacher about Danny Gonzalez. I asked him what Danny was like in college, so you'll hear that. He was famously on that Chicago Bears team that came in here and beat the Arizona Cardinals on Monday Night Football that sparked one of the greatest rants in NFL history from then Cardinals head coach Dennis Green. The Bears are who we thought they were. So if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook. Brian Urlacher was on that Bears team.
Brian Urlacher is who we thought he was. I think it's more
he is
appropriate.
an NFL Hall of Famer.
He's always been that dude.
Pro Football Hall of Famer. He's got his spot in Canton, Ohio, for the rest of his life. So we'll hear from him on that Monday night game. I asked him what was that like as an opposing player to hear that rant from Denny Green. So you'll hear his thoughts on that as well. Lots of stuff coming up for you.
Speaking of rants, do you want to give the listeners your annual Halloween rant?
Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
It's almost time, kids. The clock is ticking. Be in front of your TV sets for the Horathon. And remember the big giveaway at 9. Don't miss it. And don't forget to wear your masks. The clock is ticking. It's almost time.
Happy, happy Halloween,
You really don't want to be in front of your TV at 9 with your mask on during the Horathon.
Yeah, don't trust that guy.
You really don't want to be. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. So Clearly, J-Dub and I are not in the Halloween spirit. We did not come.
I dressed up the last like 4 years, and this
Yeah.
year I was just like, eh.
I saw one person dressed up today. I saw a Chanel was dressed up in some, and then like I think it was like a tiger costume or something
Sure.
of that nature. Chanel in our promotions department, but I didn't see a whole lot of other people that were partaking in the Halloween spirit here throughout the building. And I don't, like we talked the other day, I don't have any Halloween parties that I'm going to this weekend. We're going to a party at Fred Harvey's house. I don't know if people are going to be dressed up there tomorrow. I would think not.
I doubt it.
No, but I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be dressed. I haven't been to a costume party on Halloween since I lived in Cleveland. Like I went to a series of them, like in back-to-back years, like in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was when I was still in my 30s. But yeah, I've not been to a dress-up Halloween party in quite a long time.
Bar Halloween costume parties are always the best.
Oh.
Because the contestants are very open and happy about being there and showing off their homemade costumes with enthusiasm.
So if you want to get in, we can have that conversation today as well. We can have all the favorite Halloween. What's your favorite Halloween movie? The Season of the Witch, Halloween 3 is, and I guess they had like there was because our guy Troy Hutchinson from Arizona Wildcats on SI, he took his mom. They had a showing of Halloween at the Galaxy Theater. And it was interesting. He said, "Yeah, we went and saw it because he said I'd never seen it in a theater before." And I was like, "Yeah, you're right. I've never seen it in a theater before. I've only
Was it like
ever
79 or 80?
And I don't think I actually went and saw it in the theater. I don't think I ever. The first time I ever saw it was probably on television. So I think most of us have not seen it in a theater. So that would have been cool just to go and see it in the theater. But I tell you, one of the first scary movies that I remember, and again, I'm old, but so this is from the 1970s, was a movie called Phantasm. And
yeah, I remember that.
That movie scared the hell out of me. I mean, like there was this really big dude, and he was just like 7 feet tall, and they called him the Tall Man, and he was just like creepy. And he would like be in the closet and stuff. I mean, like I couldn't open up closets at night for years after watching Phantasm. That movie scared the bejesus out of me. And he had this ball that would like fly around the funeral mausoleum, and it had like these daggers in it. And it would get close to you, and the daggers would come out and they would dagger you in the head. And I'm like, no, thank you. So that was like the first scary movie that I can remember that totally freaked me out. And
it was so popular they made 3 or 4 of them after that first one.
Well, trust me when I tell you the sequels were the ones after were not as good as the first.
Well, how far can you take a movie about a flying ball with knives coming out of it? It's like there's not really too many places to go with that.
Exactly. He drove around in a hearse. I was like, that's just creepy alone. And I think part of it was also because there was a time, my mother, who turns 90 on Sunday, happy birthday, Mom, to my mom. She'll be 90 on Sunday. She worked, for a period of time, she worked part-time. We lived in Los Angeles at a funeral home. And so I think this was about the same time. So I was already creeped out that like I would get picked up from school and have to go to the funeral home with my mom. And so I'm like sitting there. I'll never forget it. Well, I'll get into this because we're at the end of the segment, but I'll get into my snooping around a funeral home story coming up a little bit later. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Dragon Ball is in for cricket. He's got everything that's happening for you this weekend coming up as well in the 4 and the 5 o'clock hour all around Southern Arizona. Right now he's getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW Tucson Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. We have an incident with unknown injuries at Westmore Road and North La Cholla Boulevard, with more seeing most of the backup there. And we have reports of a vehicle fire on the North I-10 frontage road going westbound near Ruthroff right now. For your weather, currently at about 86 degrees. We'll go ahead and get a continued cool down before finally getting out of the 80s around 6 o'clock. I'm Dragon Ball with you, Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Staples. Your local Staples has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. And right now at Staples, save up to $125 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends November 1st. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
Discover luxury at BMW of Tucson, your premier BMW dealership. Explore our extensive inventory, lease specials, and state-of-the-art service. Visit us at the Tucson Auto Mall or at bmwoftucson.com today.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-738-9900. 800-738-9900. That's 800-738-9900.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
If you are a fighter, Modelo is your reward. So listen close. You put up with a lot, but you always hold it down for your people. You are strong. You are fearless. You are the baddest on the block. You are an elbow grease factory. Force of nature. You are not to be reckoned with. You are a ride or die, a powerhouse of productivity. You are a fighter, and Modelo is your reward. You've earned every last drop of this rich golden lager, so raise it up high. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Drink responsibly. Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Hello, everybody. Gary, why are you wearing a... Hold on, Ron. Every time Gary walks in here wearing some goofy costume, you always say, Gary, why are you wearing that? Yeah, but... And then it turns into some long-winded story about Alaskifications. Yeah, but... Then Gary says something ridiculous. Yeah, but... And you agree that an Alaskification before winter is the best way to prepare for cold weather. Yeah, but... And how Alaskan AC guarantees no breakdowns. Yeah, but... And all it does is encourage Gary to walk around wearing a stupid-looking ski mask that no person in his right mind would get caught dead wearing. Yeah, but he's wearing my ski mask.
Keeping my head protected, just like the Alaskification protects your heater.
My ski mask isn't stupid looking.
Look who's wearing it. I choose to ignore that remark.
Because you know another one is coming. Take off that stupid ski mask. See?
And that's why you should schedule your Alaskification today.
What did we accomplish here? I'm not sure, but today is a good day to Alaskify. Schedule now at AlaskanAC.com.
There are many reasons you might need Dorado Rockin' Materials. A few bare spots in the yard. The driveway needs filling in. Or it could be that the yard needs a whole makeover. Whatever the reason, if your yard has the summertime blues, Dorado Rockin' Materials has everything from sand to boulders and every rock and pebble in between. If you need help spreading it, we have options for that too. Call 400-4233. Dorado Rockin' Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
Looking for fun? O'Reilly Chevrolet has EVs in stock and ready to roll. Chevy's led the EV charge since the Bolt in 2016, and now we're keeping it going with the all-electric Blazer, Equinox, and Silverado. Innovation, power, and savings all in one ride. Come see us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or visit O'Reilly.com. The Chevy EVs are here, and the future is electric. O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Cruising down I-10, it's not just traffic you dodge, it's flying rocks, blown tire chunks, desert debris, and the sun never quits. That's Tucson life.
But with paint protection film from Recon Auto Detailing, my car stays flawless, no matter how many miles I put on I-10.
It's more than protection. It's peace of mind every drive, every highway run, every day. Keep your car looking showroom new. Recon Auto Detailing, Ceramic Pro West, Tucson. Armor for your ride.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Thursday night football got week 9 off to rolling.
Jackson has not missed a pass in the third quarter. He is 8 for 8, and he's under center. His hands together. He's talking to his line. One on the play clock. This snap. A play fake. Back to throw. In the pocket. Dancing in the pocket. Over the middle. Touchdown, Baltimore! Rashad Bateman in the back of the end zone. It's the 4th touchdown of the game for Lamar Jackson.
Pass, holding,
Defense number 23, that foul's declined. Touchdown.
That touchdown is good. The
Lamar Jackson, 4 touchdown passes last night, back from his injury, and the Ravens beat the hapless Miami Dolphins 28-6. So, time now for our BetMGM Network top plays of the day. So we had a parlay on this one. We had 3 plays on this one yesterday for this Thursday night game. So we had Lamar Jackson under 6.5 rushing attempts. We had Derrick Henry, 100-plus yards or more rushing. And we had the Ravens -7 over the Dolphins. So we had all 3 of those bets individually. We decided to roll them into a parlay at +600. So how did we do last night? Well, Lamar Jackson had 5 carries for 14 yards. So we got the under 6.5, just barely, on the rushing attempts. He only ran it 5 times. We needed him to be 6 or under. So that was a winner. Derrick Henry, 19 carries, 119 yards. So we hit that one there. 100 or plus more yards rushing for Derrick Henry. The final leg of the parlay, Ravens -7.5, and Baltimore wins the game by 22. So we hit on our 3-leg parlay last night for Baltimore and Miami at +600. So we win on that total $77.40. We're doing whatever we can to try to get look, folks, we're doing whatever we can to try to get back under $300 in the hole. So we got to start taking parlays so we can win a little bit extra money. Because again, you're not going to win as much if you take those individually. So $77.40. That might be I think that's only the second parlay that we've hit. So happy about that right there on the winning side of that parlay last night. All right, so we got a lot to get to for this weekend. Let's start with what BetMGM Network is throwing out there for you.
I'm Michael Jenkins, here to help you beat the books with the BetMGM Network. We're going to college football and taking the Tar Heels +2.5 against Syracuse. Nothing scarier than backing Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson for Halloween. Syracuse is 3-5 in the season, but have lost 4 in a row and have failed to score 20 points in any of those 4 games. UNC only has 2 wins in the year, but they're playing much better as of late. We like the Heels to keep it close, to take Carolina +2.5. I'm Michael Jenkins from the BetMGM Network. Bet smarter and beat the books, and download the BetMGM app today. Please gamble responsibly.
All right, J-Dub, what's the over-under on if you're out this weekend and you see somebody dressed up as Jordan and Belichick?
Yeah, as a couple costume, sure, I could see it. There's no doubt.
That would be interesting.
It would just take some white spray paint and a youngish female to be a part of the combination.
It would. There you go. So you could Paige pass for that? You think?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
what am I
there
going to
you
say?
go.
No.
Exactly. You got it. You got an old hoodie you can throw on.
I got a lot of old hoodies.
All
Yes.
right.
It's a big part of my look in the 90s.
Yeah, I bet. There you go. All right, so that line right now is down to 1.5. So you're only going to get 1.5 versus the 2.5 on that game right now. So North Carolina plus 1.5 at -115 is one of the plays we've got for college football. Now, I just mentioned parlays. We're going to get to a college because we got 2 plays on the same game, and we'll get to those. We'll parlay those in a moment. But I want to give you another individual one we've got. Tennessee. We've got Tennessee. Let's see. Let me see exactly what the current line on this one is. We've now got Tennessee -3 over Oklahoma. So it's the Vols at ranked 14th and the 18th ranked Sooners. Tennessee -3.5. That game is at -105 right now at BetMGM. All right. So our parlay in terms of college football is we've got Nebraska and USC. So the play here from BetMGM is to take Nebraska and the points. Now, it was 6.5 at one point, but now it's down to 4.5. So we're taking it at 4.5. And you're going to take Nebraska on the money line. USC is favored in this game. So you've got Nebraska plus 4.5 and Nebraska on the money line. And let's see. I don't think we can take that. It's not allowing us to take that as a – oh, wait. I think I hit too many buttons. No, they're not going to allow us to do that. So we may have to take those separately. That's unfortunate. I guess some things you cannot combine when you try to do.
Maybe it's because you hit on the last parlay, and now they're like,
yeah,
maybe we're not going to let this guy parlay so much.
I want to click on this to tell me, see if it tells me why I cannot do that. Well, I guess it's so the point is locked on a parlay, so maybe you can't combine it with a money line. Okay, well, whatever. Okay, so we can't parlay that. So we'll have to take those individually then. We'll take Nebraska plus 4.5, and we'll also take Nebraska on the money line at plus 165 against USC. All right, couple of the three in the NFL for Sunday we've got for you. Falcons plus 5 over the Patriots this weekend. So Bijan and company, they've kind of been up and down. They're 3-4. They're going on the road to the Patriots. That game right now, we had it at plus 5 initially. It's now up to 5.5. So plus 5.5. Take the Falcons over the Patriots at minus 110, says BetMGM. Also, we've got the Bills playing on Sunday, and we've got Josh Allen over 6.5 rushing attempts. Josh Allen over 6.5 rushing attempts against the Chiefs. A lot of people are saying that this is going to be a preview of the AFC Championship. How many times have these two teams played in the AFC Championship, Kansas City and Buffalo? And people were already saying that we're going to get that game again. I don't know do you want to see that game again? Do you want to see these two teams again?
I like parity, man. I like to mix it up. I think the Chiefs, it's one of two things. American sports fans, DK, love a dynasty. Love it when a team is so dominant they string together 3-4 wins in a row. But there is there's a clock on that. And I think that seeing the Chiefs every single year in the Super Bowl, they've made it 5 out of 6, is it? Something crazy like that? Yeah. Personally, no. I'm not a fan of either of those two teams. I would like to see some other teams involved. I mean, the Bills, I could see that. I'd like to root for the Bills to get over that hump and obviously make and win a Super Bowl. But I'm not going to root for the Chiefs to win a title this year now.
All right, so that is now, what do we got? We got Josh Allen it's now 7.5 rushing attempts at minus 145. So you're not going to get a ton back on that at minus 145, but you can try to play that. The last one we've got for you is Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry under 34.5 receiving yards in this game. So Hunter Henry under 34.5 receiving yards in this game. And right now, actually, let's see. That is a little bit under. It's a minus bet right now. So Hunter Henry is a minus bet for that in terms of receiving yards in this game. So those are your three plays. It's plus 120 right now. So Hunter Henry plus 120 at under 34.5 yards receiving. Josh Allen over 6.5 yards rushing. Falcons plus 5.5 over the Patriots. Those are your three NFL games that we are giving to you. So we got a lot of college football and a lot of NFL for you on the BetMGM Network Top Plays, which currently is unsponsored. So if you want to sponsor that segment, please do. 520-887-1000. Give us a call, and you can be the sponsor on our BetMGM Network Top Plays.
Josh Allen had 14 carries in the first game this season. 14.
Has it gone down?
3 in the last game.
Yeah, they haven't been running him as much.
Well, they beat Carolina 40-9. Yeah, not much use for his legs in a situation like that. Obviously, that's a part of it. That first game versus Baltimore was 41-40. And when it comes down to it, and the Bills really need, a score at the goal line, it's always Josh Allen with his legs, right?
Speaking of Carolina, we've got Carolina Panthers football coming up for you on Sunday with pregame at 10 o'clock. They'll be taking on the Green Bay Packers up in Green Bay. And we've also, of course, we'll have Monday Night Football for you over on our sister station, KTUC Freedom 1400. It's your Arizona Cardinals and the Dallas Cowboys. Let's hear a little bit. Do we have time to get this in? Let's hear a little bit. Walter Nolan is back on the field as he tries the number one pick from this past season. He's been dealing with some injuries, trying to get back into the lineup to begin his NFL career. Let's hear from Walter Nolan on getting back on the field and trying to get back in shape to be activated to play on Monday.
I've been feeling good. Every day I go out there, man, it's just another blessing. So I'm just going to continue to take it that way.
It's been the hardest part about watching from the sidelines and not getting to participate?
Like you said, just sitting there watching. I love football, man. So just sitting there watching, it'd be kind of hard to sit there and watch a little bit. But I'm always there to support my teammates, and that's what I'm supposed to do.
What'd you learn on the sideline?
Every game in the league, you never know what's going to happen. That's what I've been learning so far. It's really coming out on whoever won it the most.
How do you feel out there? What's your condition level like? And we ready to go soon?
Everything in practice been feeling good. Conditioning-wise, I'm getting better at that every day. Just staying down on my plays and just helping my guys. Who knows when I'm going to be out there? I'm just happy to be back.
All right, that's Walter Nolen. He has been out since the early stages of training camp with a calf injury. He was limited yesterday in practice. I have not seen an update on how much he went in today's practice, the first rounder. But he's probably going to have to get to a point where he logs full practices before they actually activate him off the IR. So I don't anticipate he's going to play.
He got put on the PUP list prior to the season starting, right? And then there's a 21-day window of practice time after you come off of that. And so, he's right in the middle of that, just kind of working his way back into the system.
Yeah, so I don't anticipate we'll see Walter Nolen on Monday Night Football, but at least it's good that he is back in the mix there and at least working his way back to playing. All right, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Arizona women's basketball won last night over Cal State LA. We're going to get into that coming up a little bit later as well. Also, Arizona soccer drew in their final game of the season to Arizona State. We'll get into a little bit about what that meant for both teams as well. DK on the sports tip, 520-848-1290. We want to hear from you. What are you wearing for Halloween? Are you going to a Halloween party this weekend, or have you been to one already? There are a lot of Halloween parties last weekend. What is your costume of choice? What is your child's costume of choice? What's your favorite Halloween movie? We can entertain all of those things.
I have a teacher update.
Ooh.
I just got this text 5 minutes ago. It says, quote, "It should be illegal to have school on Halloween. That is all."
Oh, it should be illegal to have school.
Sugar plus elementary school students for teachers can lead to a long.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that must be bad for sure. That really must be bad. All right, so hang in there, teachers. Hang in there. The day is almost over. The day is almost over. You can go home and then let the parents have to deal with all the sugar high stuff. All right, right now, Dragon Ball's getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. You have an accident with injuries at South Park Avenue and East Silver Lake Road. Most of the slowdown here going to be at Silver Lake. We also have another accident with possible injuries at North Campbell Avenue and East Hendrick Drive. This just south of Fort Lowell and Campbell's intersection, so be prepared for the backup on Campbell there. For your weather, still at about 86 degrees. We'll get down to 85 in the next hour, down to 83 at 5. I'm Dragon Ball through Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by eBay. Swapping out your tires? There's nothing like it. With eBay, you find the feel you're looking for, from smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need at the prices you'll love. eBay. Things people love.
Ugh, no, not the sink. Not now.
Plumbing issues can put your life on pause. But with anytime emergency scheduling, the Neighborly Done Right promise, and more, Mr. Rooter Plumbing will have your life flowing again in no time.
All fixed. Much better.
Mr. Rooter is proud to cheer on the Cats. Mention this ad for 10% off any plumbing service. A win for the whole family. Bear down, Arizona.
Mr. Rooter Plumbing,
a Neighborly company.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up with science.
You mean they don't use yesterday's newspaper?
No, they use the latest in technology and innovation to eliminate bugs, bees, termites, weeds, and more.
So no as seen on TV salt guns?
Nope, only solutions that target insect biology, using chemistry to help protect the environment, people, and their pets.
You are so smart.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up. Call 886-3029 or visit essentialpest.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Tune into Wildcats Radio 1290 weekly for Brett Brennan's Football Press Conference, where you can catch up on all things Arizona football this season. The Football Press Conference, sponsored by Coors Light.
Wildcat fans, Arizona football tickets are on sale now. Join the party at Arizona Stadium all season long as your Arizona Wildcats take on year 2 in the Big 12. There's nothing better than an Arizona football game day, from the tailgating scene to the action on the field. So bring a friend and get your tickets now by calling 520-621-2287. That's 621-CATS, or by visiting ArizonaWildcats.com/FB. And as always, bear down.
Hey, it's Mrs. HVAC. If you're anything like me, a mom, a wife, and maybe a little bit crazy about the air I breathe and the water I drink, then listen up. Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing has you in mind with our home wellness check. That's 3 visits a year to make sure your AC is happy, your plumbing isn't plotting against you, and your water isn't secretly weird. We'll even test your water quality because you deserve spa water, not swamp vibes. Let's keep your home sane, even if you're not. Call us today or book online at picturerockscooling.com.
Life's busy. Errands, kids, work, the I-10 grind. Who's got time to sit at a detail shop?
That's why Recon Auto Detailing comes to me. Mobile detailing keeps my car spotless without losing a minute of my day.
From mobile washes to in-shop ceramic coatings, tint, and paint protection, we're Tucson's one-stop shop for keeping your ride looking new. Convenience, care, confidence, that's Recon Auto Detailing. Ceramic Pro West, Tucson.
Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
The future of fun is here at O'Reilly Chevrolet. We've got EV Blazer, EV Equinox, and EV Silverado in stock now with instant acceleration, zero gas, and lower maintenance costs. Act fast. Federal incentives end September 30th. Visit us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or go to O'Reilly.com. Chevy EVs are here, and the future is electric. O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is Andrew Bogish with a Sports Minute. So let me get this straight. Louisiana's governor is mad at LSU AD Scott Woodward because taxpayers are on the hook for Brian Kelly's $53 million buyout. So the school responds by divorcing Woodward last night, but he has his own buyout. So now we're adding $6 million more to those taxpayers. And none of this will help the school find a quality replacement. I'm Andrew Bogish.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-922-1284. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-922-1284. 800-922-1284. 800-922-1284.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results vary. Consult with your tax professional prior to enrollment.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
NBA basketball tonight in the desert. It's the start of the Cup. The NBA Cup is back, and the Suns' first game will be against the Utah Jazz. Let's hope it goes better than what happened the other night at the end of the game against Memphis.
No timeout by the Grizzlies at this point. 12 seconds remain. 1-point game. Morant in the lane. Floater. Yes, with 7.3. And the Grizzlies lead it by 1. Phoenix does not have a timeout. Just want to force him to catch the ball, at least going towards the baseline. Booker, 5 seconds, 4 seconds. Booker for the win! No! Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over, and the Grizzlies win it 114 to 113 on a Morant game winner.
You know what respect is in the NBA, DK?
What's that?
Respect is when you get double teamed in the backcourt when you don't have the ball in your hands. Booker on that play, he had 2 men on him on the inbounds pass. The Grizzlies were trying to do anything they could to avoid Booker. And as far as Morant's shot, that's just what he does. That was about as easy a floater, just a little sidestep to the right, got a little space from about 7-8 feet.
34 points, 10 rebounds for Devin Booker, but it was not enough. He needed like 36 to get that win last night for the Suns. Would you believe that the Suns coming into tonight, again, they are averaging, they're turning the ball over quite a bit. They're averaging 17 turnovers per game right now, and that is tied for the 3rd highest in the league. They're only shooting 44% from the field, and that is the 5th lowest in the league. So, again, the Suns, it's a new coach, a new style. Jordan Ott kind of plays an up-tempo style. Right now, though, they're still working it out. It's kind of like what we've talked about in Arizona football. New offensive coordinator, new style, and there's going to be growing pains and a learning curve that come along with that.
Yeah, there's no doubt. The other big part of that equation is they traded Kevin Durant for Jalen Green. He was the guy who was the big get in that. He's a young, two-way. He struggled mightily in last year's playoffs, but he's improving every year since he was, I think, the top pick or second pick, something like that overall. Very highly regarded. So it's hard to even judge this Suns team until Jalen Green gets in the lineup and he and Booker are meant to be the 1-2 combo. Just a lot of new pieces, new head coaching staff. You just laid it out there. Anybody who expected the Suns to be good from the get-go, if at all this season, maybe didn't pay attention to what happened in the roster moves off-season. But I wouldn't be surprised. I like Jordan. I like Ott as a coach quite a bit. I think he's got a good philosophy and a good style, but it will take time for those guys to get it together. And meanwhile, Booker finds himself yet again on a 200 winning percentage team, putting up 30 points a game. He's used to that.
Yeah, you mentioned Jalen Green. Obviously, he has been out with a hamstring injury. The good news is he was listed as questionable for the game on Wednesday night against Memphis. So we'll have to see exactly if that potentially means that he might be available to return and play tonight. Nothing definitive. I've not seen anything definitive so far on whether he's been ruled in or out of tonight's game. So we'll have to wait and see over the course of the next couple of hours.
I just think it's one of those
how that plays out.
Lingering deals, hammy, right? So they don't want to rush him back because if he re-aggravates it, he could be out for a much longer extended period of time. They want him to be as healthy as possible before they get him in there because they're going to need him to get out there and run. That's what he does. Better to be cautious than not.
All right, so I am seeing now that it appears he will not play tonight. He is expected to miss his 6th straight game for the Suns. Let's hear from Devin Booker. He had that last shot opportunity against the Grizzlies the other night. It did not go. Let's hear from him and on the potential return of Jalen Green and what that means when the new Suns player comes back.
I think a better start than what we've been getting, which was a point of emphasis for us. But still got to clean up a lot of things. Transition defense sticks out, rebounding, and just those compound mistakes that we make that take us from a good spot in the game to having us fight our way back. Looking back, I probably should. I think mid-range worked for me probably the 3 possessions before, so could have got back to that. But you live and you learn. I think the second one, the last one, was an inch or two from going in, but, the possession before I could have been better. Got to know the time a little bit better. I think when I pulled up, there's 2 seconds left, which means I could have got a couple more dribbles towards the hoop. But in that situation, they're usually not going to call a foul, so probably get to the nitty versus getting all the way to the rim.
You kind of made a beeline right off the court after that. What were you feeling in that moment?
Just defeat. I want to win every game. Our last 2 have been, super close. Could have went either way. So 3-2 sounds a lot better than 1-4. we got to keep building.
Looking ahead to the games coming up with Jalen's debut right around the corner, what can you tell me about the two-man game you guys have and what you anticipate out of that partnership?
Something that we're going to have to develop, so I think, with him being healthy, the sooner he gets out here, the better. So, we can, work through some things. Hopefully it's hit the ground running. I think having a threat like him on the court is going to be beneficial for everybody.
Now, and the other thing, obviously, with not dealing, the Suns have not had Jalen Green, but they've also not had Dylan Brooks the last couple of games either, as he's been dealing with an injury as well. So two guys that you anticipated might be core rotational players have not been out there for the last couple of games anyway for the Suns, and this will be the second time they've played Utah in the last 5 days. The last time they played on Monday, a 4-point loss in overtime in which Arizona Wildcat Lauri Markkanen scored 51 points in that game. And he didn't cool down at all. They lost Wednesday night to the Portland Trailblazers at home by 2. But Lauri in that game had 32 points, 3 steals, and 3 blocked shots. So Lauri Markkanen staying hot as he comes back to the state where he played his college basketball.
5th in scoring on the early NBA season. But I'm not surprised for one reason. Every time, DK, that Lauri goes to play for Finland during the offseason and does his crazy superhero thing where he just is aggressive on every single possession when he plays for his home country's team. He's been doing that since he was a 16-year-old. Every year he comes back after one of those summer trips to play in a gold medal. It was FIBA Europe's this summer. He always comes out a little bit more aggressively. So that's just, I think, a hangover from playing for the Finnish national team. But we've always known Lauri is a consummate team-first guy, whatever the coaching staff needs him to do. And right now that Jazz team needs him to score. They've moved on from a couple of pieces. Ace Bailey they're trying to work in as a top pick. But Lauri is the go-to guy on that roster. So if he's hot, they're going to keep feeding him.
And he's shooting 51% from the field this season, 40% from 3 is Lauri Markkanen.
50, 40, 90.
Yeah. Yeah, there you
91
go.
91 from free throw line, too.
There you go. He's
you got to do that for
efficient.
82 games to enter that club, and he's done it through 4. So,
and the other rough thing, and we talked about the Suns and their turnover issues, is the fact, like in the game against the Grizzlies, they turned it over 21 times, and the Grizzlies got 37 points out of those 21 turnovers. So the transition defense has not quite been up to snuff for the Suns as well this season. So that's got to improve dramatically if they want to try to stay. And I mentioned, I kind of jokingly said they actually did get better defensively in the loss to the Grizzlies. They only gave up 114 points versus 130, which they'd given up in their previous 3 losses, 130-plus points. So, hey, it was in slight improvement in terms of the point side at the defensive end, but transition defense has got to get a whole lot better for this team as they move forward. I think they've been averaging close to 30 points allowed on their high turnover nights. So you can't have that.
If you had to point to one issue they've had for the last 3 or 4 seasons, even with KD, that's it. That's why they brought Ty in last year to be the point guard with the lowest assist turnover ratio in the history of the NBA. But we're talking Devin Booker, Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal, and Ryan Dunn has gotten 5 starts in his second season, in his sophomore season. So, Ryan Dunn could wind up being an all-NBA level defender. He's got that potential in him. Grayson Allen's never been thought of to be a great on-ball defender, and Booker has his moments, but again, he's not a plus defender on that side either. So it may need to be a situation where Ishbia decides that those draft picks aren't quite as valuable as maybe getting some defenders on this roster as well, because that's going to be an issue moving forward, DK. And it doesn't matter when Jalen Green comes back, if he's putting up 30, which he's capable of, and D Book's put up 30, which he does on every given night.
Yeah.
If you're giving up 125, 130 on the other side, it's not going to matter.
Well, earlier we gave you our Bet MGM top plays. I keep saying it. I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to give you a Bet DK play whenever we've got one of our local teams playing, one of our local pro teams. So the Suns are on the floor tonight. So I'm going to give you a Bet DK play, which is an extra play we'll add to our ledger. And we'll keep track of these. I'm going to start keeping track of the Bet DK plays, and we'll see if I'm doing any better than those people over at BetMGM Network. So the Suns are 3.5-point favorites tonight against the Jazz, who they lost 2 by 4 on the road in overtime earlier this week. And the Suns have lost 4 games in a row. And they'll probably not have, once again, like I said, they may not have Dylan Brooks or Jalen Green tonight. But I'm going to take the Suns and lay the 3.5 points tonight. I think the 4-game losing streak comes to an end, and the Suns get back on the winning trail tonight. So that's your Bet DK top play for tonight. Take the Suns and lay the 3.5.
I had to look it up, and
at the Mortgage Matchup Palace.
Mortgage Matchup Palace Arena. Lowry over under tonight is 26.5.
Oh, okay. Ooh, so they're oh man,
and he's averaging 34.
All right, so we want to throw that in. We can throw that in there.
I mean, how many bet DKs?
27 or more?
Do we have rules about how many?
We can make
bet
that.
DKs?
We can make the bet DK a parlay. Suns minus 3.5. Lowry, you want to go over?
Over, yeah.
Over
I mean, the Suns D is
26.5?
not great, and Lowry's averaging 34 on the season. He's shooting really well.
All right, so we'll make the. I'll see if I can make that a parlay, and we'll see what the number is on that at BetMGM Network. I'll give that to you, and we'll make that the Bet DK parlay for tonight's Lowry over 26.5 points, Suns minus 3.5 to win the game over the Jazz. I like it. 520-848-1290. Hour number 1 is in the books. Hour number 2, we're going to talk Arizona and Colorado. Mark Johnson, the voice of the Buffaloes, will join us. We'll ask Mark about homecoming. Like, what's cool about homecoming in Boulder? I know it's going to be a great weekend. Temperatures are expected to be in the 60s for a game that'll start at, I think that'll be 5 o'clock their time. It'll still be 4 o'clock our time, but 5 o'clock their time. We'll be back on that Mountain Standard Time with them in about 2 days.
The weirdest thing about weekends like this, DK, is like any daylight savings weekend where you have to talk about sports times on a Saturday and then versus Monday.
Yeah.
I had to tell Brody Dryden, I was like, hey, by the way, when you get to Vegas on Monday, you're going to be on a different time than us, even though right now you are on this. Vegas is the same as us now.
Right.
They won't be on Monday.
No, they will not. They will not. And people say, oh, we don't change our clocks here in Arizona. Well, you never worked in radio because that's all I've been doing all week is changing my clocks and making new ones. Let me tell you, it's probably the busiest, one of the busiest. This time of year is already busy because we got football overlapping with basketball, and then we got daylight savings time, and I got to change all the clocks in every single show, and I got to make sure that everything is on time for when the clock strikes, whatever it is, midnight, 2 a.m., or whenever all that starts, and a new life begins back on standard time. We won't dive too far into that, though. All right, we will have much more coming up for you in the 5 o'clock hour. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290. 4 o'clock hour comes before the 5 o'clock hour.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. We have the I-10 westbound near North Business Center Drive. We have a crash there with reported fence damage, so be prepared for some slowdown. And we have an accident with injuries over at West Irvington Road and South Landing Center Drive. Most of the backup here on Irvington as you come to or from the I-19. For your weather, still at about 86 degrees. Going to get ready to cool down to 85 before finally going down to 68 degrees at 9. I'm Dragon Ball, the Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by King's Hawaiian Sliders.
Eli Manning here. There's nothing like football and King's Hawaiian Sliders. There's something about those soft, fluffy, irresistible King's Hawaiian Sliders that make them a winner on game day. Pick some up this weekend in the bakery or deli section of your grocery store. King's Hawaiian. There's nothing like it.
Hello, everybody.
Gary, why are you wearing a...
Hold on, Ron. Every time Gary walks in here wearing some goofy costume, you always say, Gary, why are you wearing that?
Yeah, but...
And then it turns into some long-winded story about Alaskifications.
Yeah, but...
Then Gary says something ridiculous.
Yeah, but...
And you agree that an Alaskification before winter is the best way to prepare for cold weather.
Yeah, but...
And how Alaskan AC guarantees no breakdowns.
Yeah, but...
And all it does is encourage Gary to walk around wearing a stupid-looking ski mask that no person in his right mind would get caught dead wearing.
Yeah, but he's wearing my ski mask.
Keeping my head protected, just like the Alaskification protects your heater.
My ski mask isn't stupid looking.
Look who's wearing it. I choose to ignore that remark. Because you know another one is coming.
Take off that stupid ski mask.
See?
And that's why you should schedule your Alaskification today.
What did we accomplish here?
I'm not sure, but today is a good day to Alaskify. Schedule now at AlaskanAC.com.
Newsmax, you like Newsmax. I like it too.
Newsmax has been terrific.
President Trump is right. Millions like you are tuning into Newsmax. You're watching Newsmax on cable. You're going to our streaming channel, Newsmax 2. And you're downloading our free Newsmax app on your smartphones and TVs. Reuters Institute says we're now one of the top news brands in the nation. Every night, watch great shows with Rob Schmidt, Carl Higbie, Rob Finnerty, and more as they expose the big media lies, the Washington swamp, and they're never afraid to talk about faith, freedom, and the values that made us great. Find out why Newsmax is the fastest-growing news channel in America. Make the switch today and join our news revolution. Get Newsmax on cable, on streaming, and download the free app today. It takes just seconds to start. Let President Trump know you stand with Newsmax. It's for real news, for real people. Make the switch today.
The pumpkin spice latte is back at Starbucks. Crafted with our signature espresso and real pumpkin sauce. Then topped with whipped cream, cinnamon, and nutmeg. The PSL. Get it while it's hot or iced. Only at Starbucks.
Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
It's basketball season, Wildcat fans, and tickets are on sale now. It's no secret the McHale Center is one of the most electric atmospheres in the country. And now is your chance to be part of the madness as Tommy Lloyd, Jaden Bradley, and the rest of the Wildcats compete for a Big 12 title. Get your tickets now by visiting ArizonaWildcats.com/MBK or call the McHale Center ticket office at 520-621-2287. That's 520-621-CATS.
Hey, man. It's me, your furnace, man. Hey, can I get a light here, man? I know we live in Arizona, so I understand I'm not, like as cool as your air conditioner. But I still need a tune-up at least once a year, man. So get the best in town, man. Goodfellas AC, bro. Hey, anybody smell that, man? I swear it wasn't me. Okay, it was me.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
If you are a fighter, Modelo is your reward. So listen close. You put up with a lot, but you always hold it down for your people. You are strong, you are fearless, you are the baddest on the block. You are an elbow grease factory, a force of nature. You are not to be reckoned with. You are a ride or die, a powerhouse of productivity. You are a fighter, and Modelo is your reward. You've earned every last drop of this rich golden lager, so raise it up high. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Drink responsibly. Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus Media Station. The Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com. We are your home for Arizona athletics. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
On the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Bear down, sleeves up. That is the new slogan for your Arizona Wildcats women's basketball team. Bear down, sleeves up. And we'll dive into that. I've got some thoughts just about what we get with the changing of regimes now in college athletics and the newness that each regime tries to bring to their program. We'll dive into that straight ahead. But first, it was a good night on the court for your women's basketball team last night at McHale Center.
Sugapong up top, Trammell, and now Jurado is going to try a three-pointer that's up and down. Straight away as she starts walking it to the right side. Give way, Sugapong, pop a three, it rattles in. Smith has it taken away by Cornfield. She accelerates by Smith, comes to the right angle, where Kitchen thought about a three. Instead, she drops it off. Everybody forgot about Francois, and Arizona has its largest lead now up to 5. Cornfield gets into the painted area, up the glass to score it. It's a 16-2 run. Francois dribbles, gives right side. Sugapong turns it on the left and then goes back over to Purdue to a wide-open Francois, who's in double figures. Goes to Purdue, drops this one off Francois. Right back to Mickey as she's at the rim. She's in double figures. Now 5 of 6 from inside the arc. Cornfield will walk it over the stripe, and that should be how it ends. 59-43, Arizona in the win column after suffering a loss in the first exhibition game.
So there you go, a win for your Arizona Wildcats women's basketball team against Cal State LA last night at McHale Center, 59-43. 42-43, the Wildcats get the victory. Now, again, they didn't stream the game. There was no streaming. There was no stat broadcast on the game, so we don't really have stats. I can tell you that Nolani Cornfield was the leading scorer. She had 13 points in the game. And Nora Francois helped on the inside. She had 10 points and 9 rebounds.
How's your
in the game?
Eminem cover band skills going?
Eminem, like the rapper?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, could you give me like a everybody got something to say kind of thing going on?
I don't remember how that one goes.
Or I'll do it. Everybody got something to say, but
Everybody forgot about Francois.
but they forgot about Francois.
They forgot about
Francois.
He had one before. I'm trying to remember. No, Isis Bay. He had a few seasons ago. Everybody forgot about Bay.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Derek, Derek's, he can be cool when
Derek's
he
the
wants to be. We like Derek Palmer on the call of those games. You can hear them all season over on Freedom 1400. All right, so a win. Again, after you lose to West Texas A&M, a Division II team, you just want to get in the win column, and that's what the ladies did. Nolani Cornfield had to play 35 minutes. You'd probably, again, same thing I said in terms of what the Wildcats men did in their first exhibition game. You'd ideally not like to have your point guard or your best guard playing 30-plus minutes in a game like this, but you got to do what you got to do to build that cohesiveness with this team and to get them feeling good about themselves. And if that's Nolani Cornfield having to play 35 minutes in an exhibition game against Cal State LA, then so be it. Afterward, the head coach, Becky Burke, first thoughts on a win, first victory, regardless. It doesn't count, but it's a win in her term here at the University of Arizona.
Bear down, everyone. Bear down. Happy podium today. Were we perfect? No. Are there still plenty of areas to improve on? Yes. But like we talked about yesterday in the press conference, I wanted to see the response of our team. We improved today. We got better today. We got the monkey off our back. And again, it wasn't perfect, but we needed to improve on some things, and I saw them improve. I just told them in the locker room, we don't need to be ready to win a Big 12 championship tomorrow. Did we get better from yesterday? Did we get better from last Thursday? And I would say the answer is definitely yes. So super excited for them and for them to just feel what it feels like to win in McHale, because our fans showed up for us again, and they've just been tremendous. And we're going to need them this year. We're going to need them to be patient with us. But we showed up today and saw the same crowd we saw last Thursday, and they weren't rattled, and they didn't waver from us, and we need that, and we appreciate it. So happy for our players, happy for our staff, happy for our fans.
All right, that was Becky Burke after the ball game. Nolani Cornfield, again, 13 points, 3 assists. Did you hear, J-Dip? She got a technical because after one of her scoring drives, she did the blowing of the kiss. Yeah, so Nolani's got a little bit of attitude in her game for sure. Yeah, you don't want to get that in a bad spot, but if you're up early or whatever and you're feeling yourself out there playing well, then so be it.
So you're saying Nolani Krisa?
No. There you go. No, Nolani Krisa, as in Kara Krisa. Isn't he playing with another? He's back in the league, isn't he? This year he's at Cincinnati.
Okay, so he's
at Cincinnati.
Literally, last I read, bro, he's gonna try to play a 7th season after this. That's what I read.
Oh my God!
A couple weeks ago.
After this?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, the news story was Kirk Krisa's attempting to play another season after this.
So that would be Arizona, West Virginia,
Kentucky,
Cincinnati, and then will he play again at Cincinnati? Or do you think he'll try to play another year somewhere else so he can say I played for 6 different schools?
All I know is I'd rather talk about Nolani Cornfield.
Let's hear from Nolani Cornfield on the more effective ball movement that the Wildcats had in this game against Cal State LA.
I mean, this is a team game. I mean, and the first thing we wanted to emphasize was playing as a team, and that's what we did tonight.
You guys scored the last 10 points of the game. I don't know how long it was at the end of the game that they didn't score, but just your thoughts on the defensive effort in the fourth quarter.
They started to come back. They had their run, and then that's just us talking in the huddles and timeouts, whatever, to all right, they had their run. Now we got to continue to get stopped. Just because we were up however many points, just because it's the fourth quarter doesn't mean the game is over. So we had to play until the buzzer sounded, and that's what we did.
Again, these are exhibition games, but the consistency is they've been very good in the fourth quarter of both of these first 2 non-conference or exhibition games. They came back from a large deficit, although they didn't complete the comeback totally, but they rallied back to have a chance to tie the game going into overtime against West Texas A&M. And then they held their opponent scoreless for the final portion of the game last night defensively. So it seems like they're a group that kind of figures it out as they're going through these games, and it allows them to be playing at a high level in the fourth quarter. And you at least want to take a positive out of that, I would think, for sure.
Yeah, and again, I mean, this is the exact same situation that Coach Becky Burke had at Buffalo, right? There were 0 players on the roster when she took over, and first year, 12-16, 19-14, 30-7. So I don't know that there's going to be instant cohesion and stacking W's from the start. But what she said there about the fans coming out to support and hoping that they'll have some patience and show some patience this year, because it's going to take a minute for these players to get on. On that note, DK, the passing game, trying to, like Nolani said right there, I mean, it's a team sport. Everybody's trying to find each other. Getting each other's tendencies in real time at game speed, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time to know, does the person like to flare more or cut hard? Like the tendencies behind that come with time and come with understanding playing with each other. So that's what I'm seeing. It's just a lot of the ladies who haven't played with each other before trying to figure each other out.
Let's hear from Becky Burke on the guard she brought with her from Buffalo, Nolani Cornfield, and her performance against Cal State LA.
She was plus 20. She played almost 35 minutes. I mean, she just does what she does, right? She's 4 steals, 13 points, 7 rebounds, gets to the free throw line 8 times. That's what Lonnie does. She sets the tone. She sets the pace. You need a little run. You need some momentum. She's going to pick somebody's pocket. She's going to, make a hustle play. And she's a tone setter for us. We have a couple of those on our team, and she's definitely one of them. So I'm not like super surprised and happy and excited because it's something I haven't seen before. I've been seeing this for over a year with her, and she's going to continue to do it here at Arizona. So I'm excited that, she's just been able to translate and bring her game here confidently.
Becky, how do you think the girls did in the non-negotiables?
Much better. We gave up a few O boards late, I think, but until that point, I thought that was something that we really, really emphasized. Like, we need to win the glass. We were plus 14 on the boards, but held them way under their average of offensive rebounding. Took them out of transition the way that we needed to. We were talking. We were bouncy. Our body language was good. Like, all the things that we just didn't respond to well last week. I wanted to see improvement in those areas, and I thought if we did, that the result would take care of itself. And it did. And we played with some new lineups. Like, we figured out some things with rotations and minutes and what looked good tonight. And those are answers that, that's why we play the 2 exhibition games, to get some of those answers solidified and, figure out some of those things. So we have 80 minutes of basketball under our belt to figure out what didn't work, what did work. And we've got some great information, and we go from there.
And another one of the veterans on this team, I mentioned Nora Francois. She's a forward. She's a 5th year. Played at New Orleans last year out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, and she was big on the interior for the Wildcats last night. Let's hear from Nora on what she felt like the team learned from that loss to WTAM.
I think yes, the film was very helpful, but also coming back into practice and being able to apply everything that coaches had pinpointed in the film. We were not in gaps. We were sagging off. We were helping off a strong side. Being able to watch that in time, in real time during the game, and then go back and watch that in film was very, very helpful. Definitely helped us learn. Yeah.
You guys had 32 points in the paint tonight, which was definitely more than last week, right? What were you seeing inside this week compared to what you guys were seeing inside last week?
I'm not sure that there was a huge difference. I do think there was somewhat of a mismatch, mouse in the house type situation. They were switching a lot, and that gave us an advantage to where we could just bury them under the rim and go to work.
32 points in the paint. You'll take that for sure for the Arizona women's basketball team. So it starts for real Thursday night. Again, they're not going anywhere. They'll be here till New Year's Eve. 13 consecutive non-conference games, with the first one Thursday night against UC Riverside at McHale Center. Get on out, support these young ladies. They've got a new thing, Bear Down, Sleeves Up. We'll dive into that a little bit more coming up a little bit later in the show. That'll be, once again, a 6 o'clock tip-off at McHale Center. They'll play twice next week at home, Thursday against Riverside and Sunday against Irvine. So the UC schools will be in town here to take on your Wildcats. 520-848-1290 if you want to get in on any of that. Joined by the third member of our team. His name is Dragon Ball. And fellas, it is
the weekend.
Okay, just take it away from me. Just do it on your own there, Dragon Ball.
Yeah,
you didn't even drag it out.
I didn't drag out
weekend. Woo! All right, it is the weekend, which means it's Halloween weekend.
Yes.
Dragon Ball appears like he's like us. He's not partaking, at least not at the moment.
Oh, I've got to get ready for trick-or-treating over in my neighborhood when I get off of work here. So that's going to be where most of my...
Are you manning the bowl tonight? Is it a bowl?
I'm not manning the bowl. I have to go ahead and join into actual walking up and down the street for trick-or-treating. We're taking my girlfriend and her friend's kid is coming to our neighborhood to go trick-or-treating. So we have to go ahead and play host for that little event this weekend.
Play host. All right. Well, there you go. I'm looking forward to hearing that story coming up on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, actually, it won't be Monday because that Monday is game day. So
Yes,
on
it is.
Tuesday of next week. All right, Dragon Ball, what else is happening in Southern Arizona this weekend for the people to partake in?
Okay, so we got a couple things. This is going to be, first one is for all weekend. We got a Halloween ghost hunt over at the Flandreau Science Center. Now, this is going to be a $10 entrance, but you get to be a ghost hunter for 90 minutes with outdoor escape rooms, scavenger hunts, and a whole lot more. So if you want something that's very interactive and going to be there for the whole weekend, go ahead and check that out at the Flandreau Science Center.
How do you do an escape room outside?
I'd imagine there's probably going to be some kind of like makeshift walls or something. I'm not sure. The way it's worded, it just says an outdoor escape room. So who knows how it's going to work?
I want to hear more about that.
About celestial bodies while I'm escaping outside the Flanders Planetarium?
I'd imagine that you probably could, for the sheer fact of probably a ghost or two can be a celestial body. So
They'll work a lesson in there somehow. They always do.
Somehow, yeah. And the other one that's going on is going to be tonight at 8 o'clock. Go to La Rosa, and you get to be part of the Halloween discotheque that's happening there.
La Rosa?
This is going to be a 21 and over event for about $19 at entry. You go ahead and have a costume contest. There'll be movies, a Daft Punk tribute, and a whole lot more going on there.
That's one of my groups.
Go ahead and check out La Rosa there. Tonight at 8 o'clock is going to be the Halloween discotheque there at La Rosa. For those that don't know, that's over at North Country Club Road.
Is seeing Daft Punk out of their outfits is that like seeing Gene Simmons without his Kiss makeup on
I feel
for
like
this
it would
generation?
have to be,
Probably.
Yeah, not this generation. Not like Daft Punk just came out. It was like 25 years ago.
Dee
but-
Snyder out of his Twisted Sister getup.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably the most like jarring one I can think of.
Sounds like fun. All right. Well, David's going to have, Dragon Ball's going to have much more coming up for us as well in the 5 o'clock hour. Right now, he's getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
Well, for the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Reminder about the Grant Road improvements going on. We have traffic on Grant Road east of Country Club to Alvernon Way being shifted to the newly paved lanes on the south side of the roadway there. But crews are already on to reconstructing the lanes on the north side of Grant Road east of Country Club to Alvernon, with both directions of Grant from east of Country Club to east of Columbus impacted, which they hope to have this job done by the end of 2026. For your weather, currently still sitting about 85 degrees. We're starting to get that cool down now before eventually getting to about 77 and out of the 80s here at 6 o'clock tonight. I'm Dragon Ball with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Life's busy. Errands, kids, work, the I-10 grind. Who's got time to sit at a detail shop?
That's why Recon Auto Detailing comes to me. Mobile detailing keeps my car spotless without losing a minute of my day.
From mobile washes to in-shop ceramic coatings, tint, and paint protection, we're Tucson's one-stop shop for keeping your ride looking new. Convenience, care, confidence, that's Recon Auto Detailing. Ceramic Pro West, Tucson.
Coach Tommy Lloyd here. Did you spend money on your AC this summer? My friends at Rightway will give you back up to $3,000 for those repairs.
That's right. No matter who did the repair, we'll buy it back for up to $3,000 towards the purchase of a new heating and air system.
No repair bills this year? No worries. Get 0% financing and no payments for 18 months. $3,000 trade-in for your old AC. 10-year parts and labor warranty. Plus a free system upgrade.
Have an aging heating and air system out of warranty? We'll inspect it absolutely free. Call Rightway Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing today. 520-201-8220.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Keep your career moving forward with growth opportunities, great pay and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces. Go to careers.progressive.com and apply today.
Progressive knows owning a home can be hard, but not always. Like when you're relaxing on your patio, enjoying a nice, quiet evening. So quiet. Except for the sound of the neighbor's party. Which you said you'd go to if you weren't busy. And your quiet night on the patio, that's not exactly busy, is it? Maybe you should just stay inside. At least Progressive's Home Quote Explorer lets you easily compare rates, so shopping for insurance is the easiest part of owning a home. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/play.
Wildcat fans, Arizona football tickets are on sale now. Join the party at Arizona Stadium all season long as your Arizona Wildcats take on year 2 in the Big 12. There's nothing better than an Arizona football game day, from the tailgating scene to the action on the field. So bring a friend and get your tickets now by calling 520-621-2287. That's 621-CATS, or by visiting ArizonaWildcats.com/FB. And as always, bear down.
Advantage Air Mechanical, the team you can trust. Call 792-9400.
When it comes to the comfort and indoor air quality of your home and office, Advantage Air Mechanical has you covered. Breathing healthy air and having reliable air conditioning is important. If you or someone you know is in need of air conditioning services or a new system installation, we are here to help. Advantage Air Mechanical, 792-9400. AZROC 214570.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
I'm Red Lewis with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Week 9 of the NFL season kicked off in Miami, where the Ravens dominated the Dolphins 28-6. Lamar Jackson threw for 204 yards and 4 touchdowns. Derrick Henry added a $119 on the ground, and the Ravens improved to 3-5 on the season. Over in the NFC, Jonathan Gannon said the Cardinals are preparing for Kyler Murray to start Monday's contest against the Cowboys. Star QB sitting out Arizona's last 2 games with a foot injury. Gannon also added that Murray would need to be, quote, fully healthy to get the nod. In Minnesota, J.J. McCarthy, a full participant in practice for the 2nd straight day. The Vikings QB took all of the first-team reps in practice Wednesday for the first time since suffering a high right ankle sprain in September. In other QB injury news, both Jaden Daniels and Mac Jones were also full participants during their respective practices on Thursday. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Hey, at Total Wine & More, you'll love what you find this Halloween.
Me thirsty.
Oh, hey, Frankenstein. Did you enjoy that Cabernet?
Oh, good.
Want margarita?
Well, all the villagers are raving about this tequila.
Ooh,
And we have it at the lowest price in town.
economical.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Now that I'm a dad, I can't stop thinking about what would happen to my kids if something happened to me. Like losing the house or not affording college.
Yeah, that used to keep me up at night too. It's why I finally got life insurance from Ethos. It's 100% online. No medical exams, just a few health questions. I got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day.
I never realized it was that simple. Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Rates may vary. Bill monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Homecoming Saturday, the next 2 Saturdays for your Arizona Wildcats on the road this weekend in Colorado, home next weekend to the Kansas Jayhawks. Let's find out what's going on with the Buffaloes. Pleased to be joined by the voice of Colorado football, Mark Johnson. We have chatted with him many times before. Mark, always great to have the opportunity to do so again. I would say this might be the quickest game in history tomorrow because you got two teams that can't stop the run. So if both teams run the football, we might get out of there in under 2.5 hours. But I say that, and then Arizona will come out and try to throw the ball all over the field. But Colorado coming off a huge loss to Utah. They have not been able to stop the run all season. It has really gotten bad the last 2 weeks. What is happening right there right now with Colorado's run defense?
Well, there's a lot going on. I think they've had some schematic issues. I think there's been some talent issues, and right now they're dealing with an injury issue. Last night when I saw the latest injury report that came out, and by the way, I think Colorado, I was joking with Prime yesterday when we were doing our show that he is the most honest, transparent guy in the conference when it comes to his injury report, because every week Colorado's got by far the longest injury report in the Big 12. They're down, I believe it is now, to 4 scholarship players in the defensive front.
Oh, wow.
And so they have been hit extremely hard. And there's a couple who are kind of in the gray area, that probable or may not play area, and so we're waiting to see what happens with them. But it's been an issue all season long. And, last year this defense wasn't great against the run. It was solid enough. But what this defense did is they got to the quarterback. They led the Big 12 in sacks, and they forced a lot of turnovers with Travis Hunter and company in the back end of that thing. And so they kind of hid some of their flaws a year ago. Well, this year they're not getting to the quarterback and they're not forcing turnovers, and they're giving up a lot of yardage. Obviously, and last week's game was such an outlier. It was one of those perfect storms where it hit and just got ugly from the get-go. And they gave up over 400 yards rushing to Utah. And so that one skews things a little bit, but even with that being said, yeah, they have been soft against the run all season long.
So you look at, obviously, guys that are down there. Amari McNeil has been one guy that's kind of stood out a little bit this season. What's he done for this team, and how can maybe he affect that going forward?
Well, he's been awful solid up there. What he's going to do on Saturday is sit on the sidelines. He's not going to be playing this weekend.
Wow.
So he's one of the guys that's out. And so he has been effective when he's been in there, but he's had some injury issues all season long. So he's one of the guys that they're missing there. And so, you just take another one of their, shall we say, prominent defensive players off the field against Arizona. And so they... that old cliche we have in football about next man up is really getting tested by Colorado, especially on the defensive end or defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, we're chatting with Mark Johnson. He is the play-by-play guy for the Colorado Buffaloes. It's the Buffaloes and the Arizona Wildcats. You look at, obviously, again, when we talk about this defense, another guy that you guys have, and every time we've talked to you, we've talked about guys that have come out of the portal for both of these teams. That Jeremiah Brown is a guy that came over to Colorado, another great get out of the portal for Deion Sanders. At least in the middle of the defense, he's been a guy that's been strong. Is he going to be available tomorrow?
Yes, he's going to be available. At least, and I'll say this with a caveat, he was on our show yesterday. And you're right, he's been playing well. Last 2 games, he's had 10-plus tackles, both of those ball games. But then again, we had Carter Stoutmeyer on the show last Thursday. He got hurt in practice on Friday and didn't play on Saturday. So as of Thursday's show taping, Jeremiah is ready to play this weekend, and we'll put a little caveat with that.
What is he at? What kind of linebacker is he?
Yeah, You know what? He's really a rangy guy, and it was interesting. What we always do in the show, we have Prime for a half hour, and we always talk to a position coach and one of the guys. So Andre Hart, the linebackers coach, was telling us about Jeremiah, about being a cerebral guy, and he's one of these guys that's a note taker. I guess he's a note taking machine, and he coordinates everything. And so they were going on and on about how he's grown as a player. From one of those guys that almost had paralysis by analysis early in his career because he fought and studied so much in the detail that he was thinking too much to play, if that makes sense. And so what they've talked about him as he matured as a player now is that he's still is that guy that prepares very, very diligently, but now he's a guy that plays the game of football along with thinking it. And so he's growing as a player, but rangy guy, active guy, and they've needed some help there at linebacker, and as he's come on this season, he's really kind of filled the gap they had.
Obviously, we've talked a lot about injuries to this point, and it really goes back to even before this season started with the health issues of Coach Prime and what he dealt with during the offseason and continues to deal with into the season. How has he managed all of that and still tried to be the coach that we know he is?
Well, he's such a fascinating guy to be around because he is Mr. Positivity, and he is a guy that, a lot of times, even though everyone knows about what goes on in his life, he doesn't really say much about it. But, as he and I get together every week, I always ask him, how you feeling, how you doing, kind of thing. And you think about it, so he had the bladder cancer issue during the offseason, which led to the incontinence issues that he deals with, which is why there's a porta potty on the sidelines and you're not surprised by this, Deion Sanders, he's got a sponsor, an endorser for that with the pen. So it's just, by the way, you'll get a kick out of this. After he did the press conference to start the season and finally revealed what was going on, he came walking off the stage and he walked up by me. We chatted briefly, and I said, you're the only guy in the world that could do a press conference in front of the entire nation and talk about incontinence and make it sound cool. But he's dealt with that, I think, phenomenally. And then, of course, he's had the issues which have bothered him for a while, which is the circulation stuff and the blood clots and all that. And, of course, he got a procedure here, 2-3 weeks ago, I guess it was. And so, with all that being said, I haven't seen an energy drop from him. Now, who knows? Maybe he walks into his office and falls on the couch and lays there for a half hour. I don't know. But I just haven't seen that from him when I've been around him.
We're chatting with Mark Johnson. He's the voice of the Colorado Buffaloes. U of A, CU Saturday. Kickoff at 4 o'clock here, Tucson time. You look at, obviously, when we talk about transfers, Caden Salter, a transfer from Liberty, at quarterback now. I've mentioned the Wildcats the last 2 weeks anyway have not been able to stop the quarterback run. Caden is a quarterback that can do that. Do you think that that's going to be an emphasis for the Colorado offense this week?
Well, I think it has to. Caden put up some very significant numbers when he was at Liberty all those years. For Colorado, he's been inconsistent. And you can, try and point to different areas as to why that has been. But the one thing he is capable of is using his legs. I'd say, I always used to say about Shedeur Sanders, he was a passing quarterback who could run. I think Caden is a running quarterback who can pass. And so that seems to be his instinct. That's his default. And so when he is freely doing that, I think that's when he's at his best and throwing on the run, those kind of things. And so I would be shocked if that were not part of the game plan against Arizona, considering what you just mentioned, that they have had their issues with stopping running quarterbacks, and that is the strength of Caden Salter. So that's certainly, I think, if Colorado is going to be successful against the Wildcats, he's going to have a good game, both rushing the ball and passing the football.
When you look at his wide receivers, top two guys, Joseph Williams, Amarion Miller, what do they kind of look like out there?
Well, it's typical. The one thing we learned when Prime got here, he recruits and identifies very efficiently and successfully wide receivers and defensive backs. I mean, the Buffs put 4 of their guys, wide receivers, in the National Football League, from last year to this year. And so they all seem to look the same roughly when he gets them. I mean, they're all in that 6 foot to 6'3" range. They've all got speed. They all go up and get the football. And Amarion Miller and Joseph Williams, and I'll throw Sincere Brown in that category as well. They're all big, especially Sincere. Sincere's, I'm 6'5". When I do an interview with him, we're looking eye to eye. He's a big man. And so those three guys kind of lead that group, but they're all that real athletic, dynamic, ball hawking, go up and get it kind of guys with good hands. And so, the problem has been is that, Colorado hasn't been as efficient on offense as they should be, and so those guys have not been as active as they probably should be. But when the ball goes up, there's a good chance they're going to go up and get it.
And a huge loss up front. Left guard Xavier Hill is not going to play this Saturday. What will that mean for the offensive line?
Well, that line, save for last week, again, that Utah game, as I said, is kind of the outlier, has really played relatively well all year long. So what you've got there is probably the most steady interior lineman in Xavier Hill. He's the guy just off the right shoulder of left tackle, Jordan Seaton, who, of course, was a high school All-American and freshman All-American last year and has really developed into a top-notch left tackle for the Buffaloes. But you take that anchor out of there, and so there's going to be some shifting. Now, one thing they did talk about going into this season was being better up front, so they could run the ball better up front, give better protection to the quarterback, which they did not give to Shedeur Sanders. And so the theory was that they're a deeper offensive line, that they had more depth there and more guys who were versatile, can move around. Well, that's certainly going to be tested, obviously, with Xavier Hill out of the football game on Saturday.
All right, so you mentioned Shedeur Sanders. I'm a Cleveland Browns fan. I grew up in Cleveland. So what's your opinion of what's going on there with him, if you have one?
Well, if you're a Browns fan, you grew up knowing pain, right? I mean, you understand what that's all about. And right now, the Sanders family is kind of feeling some of that. It's a fascinating deal with me. I watched him for 2 years. I know what he's capable of. I do think Shedeur Sanders is an NFL quarterback. I don't quite, from my vantage point all the way out here in the Rocky Mountains, I don't quite understand why he's not given a chance. Now, maybe there's things going on behind the scenes. I've talked to Dion about it, and he stays rather vague when we chat about it. But in my view, you give the guy a chance. Because, listen, at this point for the Browns, what do you have to lose, for goodness sake?
Exactly.
Right? Put him on out there. Dillon Gabriel has been average at best. Put him on out there. Give him a chance. He's a guy that I think when the lights are on is at his best. Are there some quirks there because of, what the attention he grew up with? Certainly he's a little bit different than kind of your average guy. But in my view, you give him an opportunity. And if you're not going to, because it just creates a circus. Listen, you know what we went through here in Denver with Tim Tebow, right? There was always a sideshow because Tim always had so much attention upon him. And there's a similar kind of atmosphere around Shedeur Sanders. So in my view, if you're not going to play him, you don't want the noise coming from a backup quarterback. Then you release him and give him an opportunity someplace else. So whatever is happening there in Cleveland, I don't quite get it. And it's fascinating, like watching a slow motion traffic accident.
It's homecoming Saturday in Colorado. Mark, what's signature of homecoming in Buffalo land? What if folks that maybe Arizonans that are going to be there on Saturday? What do they need to see? Is there anything they need to see or be a part of there that's signature to homecoming Saturday in Colorado?
Well, I can't say there's anything necessarily that's really unique in that regard outside of the running of Ralphie, the Buffalo, but that happens every game. Friday night, they do a big parade type thing on campus. So if Arizona fans are in town, you come on into Boulder, you get yourself a nice meal, plenty of restaurants down there on Pearl Street, and you can work your way on the campus and kind of see the pageantry of all of that. That's kind of the big thing going on Friday night before we get to the football game. And football Saturday is going to be like it always is in Boulder. The weather's going to be spectacular. The Rocky Mountains are sitting right there, and Ralphie's ready to run. So it'll be a sold-out, fun show on Saturday afternoon.
All right. Well, Mark, always appreciate the chance to talk to you, and have a great call Saturday.
I appreciate it. Take care.
Mark Johnson, he's the voice of the Colorado Buffaloes. Dragon Ball is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. We have a water line replacement project taking place on Park Avenue between 36th Street and north of 22nd, so expect some slowing in that spot, as well as some gas line work impacting traffic on Glen, with westbound Glen west of Almaron and Campbell closed, but traffic can utilize Fort Lowell to get around that work instead. For your weather, still at about 85 degrees, getting ready to cool down and hit 83 by 5 o'clock. I'm Dragon Ball with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Rooter Ranger 24/7 Plumbing, Sewer, and Drains. For fast, affordable plumbing and emergency drain services, call Rooter Ranger and get out of plumbing danger. RooterRanger.com.
888-7-RANGER. Get you out of plumbing danger.
If you are a fighter, Modelo is your reward. So listen close. You put up with a lot, but you always hold it down for your people. You are strong, you are fearless, you are the baddest on the block. You are an elbow grease factory, a force of nature. You are not to be reckoned with. You are a ride or die, a powerhouse of productivity. You are a fighter, and Modelo is your reward. You've earned every last drop of this rich golden lager, so raise it up high. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Drink responsibly. Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Hello, everybody. Gary, why are you wearing a... Hold on, Ron. Every time Gary walks in here wearing some goofy costume, you always say, Gary, why are you wearing that? Yeah, but... And then it turns into some long-winded story about Alaskifications. Yeah, but... Then Gary says something ridiculous. Yeah, but... And you agree that an Alaskification before winter is the best way to prepare for cold weather. Yeah, but... And how Alaskan AC guarantees no breakdowns. Yeah, but... And all it does is encourage Gary to walk around wearing a stupid-looking ski mask that no person in his right mind would get caught dead wearing. Yeah, but he's wearing my ski mask. Keeping my head protected, just like the Alaskification protects your heater. My ski mask isn't stupid looking. Look who's wearing it. I choose to ignore that remark. Because you know another one is coming. Take off that stupid ski mask. See? And that's why you should schedule your Alaskification today. What did we accomplish here? I'm not sure, but today is a good day to Alaskify. Schedule now at AlaskanAC.com.
The Home Depot has everything you need to turn your home into a beacon of holiday cheer. So whether you're going all out or just adding a few holiday touches, we've got you covered with trees, yard decor, and more. Save time decorating with one of our easy-to-assemble pre-lit trees, or pick up a piece from our Yuletide Lane decor collection and fill your yard with holiday joy. Whatever your style, find everything to get your holidays started at the Home Depot.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
Wildcat fans, Arizona football tickets are on sale now. Join the party at Arizona Stadium all season long as your Arizona Wildcats take on Year 2 in the Big 12. There's nothing better than an Arizona football game day, from the tailgating scene to the action on the field. So bring a friend and get your tickets now by calling 520-621-2287. That's 621-CATS, or by visiting ArizonaWildcats.com/FB. And as always, bear down.
Hey, man. Yeah, it's me, your furnace, man. Hey, can I get a light here, man? I know we live in Arizona, so I understand I'm not, like as cool as your air conditioner. But I still need a tune-up at least once a year, man. So get the best in town, man. Goodfellas AC, bro. Hey, anybody smell that, man? I swear it wasn't me. Okay, it was me.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill, because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
This is Bill Ryder with The Sportsman. It's sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Mike McDaniel, the beleaguered head coach of the Miami Dolphins, is already a dead man walking. Fire him now, fire him in a week, fire him at the end of the season. The reality is, after that 28-6 drubbing by the Ravens, a team that was one of the worst defensive units in football, is that McDaniel can no longer lead this team. Maybe it's his fault, maybe it's Tua's fault, but the reality is it's time for him to go. I'm Bill Ryder.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Charlie's battery is struggling to start. Not ideal before the tailgate, so he goes to AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone.
Where a friendly AutoZoner tests his battery for free. Looks like he needs a new one, so he gets a Duralast battery.
Have fun and stay warm.
And he makes it to the tailgate early enough to get his favorite spot. free battery testing and charging. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Sports fans, listen up. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer, and bladder leaks can be a side effect. That's why Depend is teaming up with the Prostate Cancer Foundation to encourage screening. Because health is a long game, and it's yours to win. Now here's the cool part. Through November, Depend is contributing up to $300,000 to prostate cancer research by donating 25 cents for every purchase of Depend shields, guards, and Real Fit products. Void in Mississippi. Learn more at Depend.com.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
So I turn myself to face me, but I've never caught a glimpse how the others must see the faker. I'm much too fast to take that test. Changes. Turn and face the strain. Changes. Don't wanna be a richer man. Changes. Turn and face the strain. Changes. It's gonna have to be a different man. Time may change me, but I can't trace time.
Yeah, changes. We go through changes in athletics, covering sports. Coaches come and go. Players come and go. And so do mottos and mantras. They come and they go. And what's interesting about college athletics, and in particular the University of Arizona of late, maybe even just in this century, the one thing, and I'll ask you this question, obviously, what's the one mantra that you associate the University of Arizona athletics with? That would be bear down, right? Of course. Bear down, Arizona. It's the one thing. I would be able to say that it might be the only long-term mantra or motto of this athletic department that's lasted over the generations, has been bear down, because what I've noticed is that every time we get a new coaching staff here at the University of Arizona, we get new things, we get new mottos, we get new traditions that are done. And the first time it really caught me was, and I don't know if it was maybe the first time it really caught me, but was when Sean Miller left. And Sean Miller had established, he was the first established coach after Lute Olson of the Arizona men's basketball program. He established the mantra, the term, a players program for the University of Athletics, a University of Arizona men's basketball team. So we kind of rode on a players program for however many years that was. I don't think he came up with it right away. It might have been maybe a year or so after he got here. So it was 10 plus years we rode with that. And then Tommy Lloyd came in and that phrasing went away. That was, well, we're gonna do our thing now. That was Sean Miller's thing, and now we're gonna do our thing. Okay. And again, that's fine. I kind of scoffed at it a little bit when Tommy first got here. I was like, well, a players program, to me, it was a phrase that could carry over from one regime to the next, but they decided they wanted to roll with something else. So that's their prerogative. Now we've got a regime change with the Arizona women's basketball program. And so we had created a little tradition there with their terming made for it and the banging of the drum after wins at McHale Center. And we mentioned earlier in our segment, we got the first win of the Becky Burke era. And now we have a new tradition there as well. So let's hear what took place after the end of the game last night at McHale Center.
Everyone, thank you so much for coming to the game and supporting us and continue to give us this really great energy. Come support us on November 6th at our next game.
Bear down, sleeves up. Now, that is the new mantra for this regime of Arizona women's basketball. Becky Burke talked a little bit about what that's all about. Let's hear from Becky Burke earlier this week on how they came up with bear down, sleeves up.
We just kind of all got our heads together as a staff. We were just kind of throwing around different things. And when we thought about the identity of this team and who we needed to be this year, that was just something like we just talked about, like workman-like mentality, like bringing in your hard hat, the lunch pail, rolling the sleeves up. And then we're like, oh, bear down, sleeves up. So it kind of just flowed from there. But that has to be our identity, which I don't think we showed last week. Like, when we say that's what our identity needs to be, and that's who we need to be as far as a blue collar team, you can't give up 16 offensive rebounds. That's not blue collar, right? You can miss shots, you could score 57. You got to win the toughness categories. You got to win the discipline categories. That's being blue collar, and those don't take any talent. And those are the categories that we absolutely need to win this year. And so they say it, they've bought into it, but like then it needs to translate to gameplay for 40 minutes, right?
All right, so bear down, sleeves up. That's going to be the new mantra going forward. Now, and let's not kid ourselves. Like, I don't know how long Becky Burke is going to be the women's basketball coach here at the University of Arizona. It might be 5 years, might be 10 years. She might turn this thing around in 3 years and go on to somewhere else. And what'll likely happen when she departs is we'll get something new from the next coach. And so my question is when do we get something that we can turn into a tradition here at the University of Arizona? And I'm not saying that these coaches can't come in and do their own thing. I wasn't in the meeting when they said, okay, well, we're not going to bang the drum anymore. We're going to do our own thing now. We're going to do what's unique to our thing. And that's fine. They're permitted to do that. But what if 30, 40, 50 years ago, Fred Snowden or some other coach would have came in and said, you know what? We're not going to do bear down anymore. We're going to do our own thing now. We would not have the tradition that is bear down. If another coach had come along after whenever that started, and I don't recall off the top of my head when that all got going, but what if another coach had come in 1970 and said, yeah, that's cool. That's kind of cool. But, you know, that's name a coach before Fred Snowden. Who was the coach before Fred Snowden? I don't even remember. But, you know, that's Pop McHale. That's Pop McHale. You know, let's create something more modern. This is the 1970s. We got to be groovy, you know? Let's create something groovy for the 1970s. We wouldn't still have bear down if a coach had come in the 1970s and done that. So when are we going to get that again? Are we going to get that again? I guess is the question. Are we going to get something that lasts? Whether that's bang the drum, which we can do for, it'd be nice. Like your kids go to school and 30 years from now, it's like, man, they're still banging the drum. They were doing that when I was in college. That's what I thought was so cool about college when I got there in the 1980s. And even, when I went to Southern California, and I've talked about, the first week I was on campus and I kept walking by Cromwell Field and I kept hearing the same dang song over and over and over again. And I can go to a game at USC now and I can hear that same song over and over and over again because a coach didn't come in and say, well, I'm going to change that. I'm not going to do that anymore. That's John Robinson. That's Ted Tollner. That's Larry Smith. Let's do something new here. So I don't know. I don't know if the next generation of kids is going to get that. I mean, it's great. It's great we have bear down, but it'd be nice if we had other traditions beside that here at the University of Arizona. And I just don't know in this age where everybody has to have their own thing that we're going to get that moving forward. And I think that's part of the sad part of college athletics to me. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290.
I can actually speak to this because I did go to school for advertising and marketing. And for the longest time, DK, longevity and tradition of a company was the number one selling point. Because if you want to go buy a screwdriver, you want to buy from the company that's been in business for 80 years, not the company that's been around for 2 years. However, the last 25 years of social media dominance has changed the entire aspect of that, where it's really the hip, cool, new thing as opposed to the old traditional thing, which is why everybody has to have their own model every single year.
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting to kind of see that change and to see everything. And I'm trying to think, they're really, I look at softball and I'm thinking, well, they're really, I don't know that there was anything that kind of fit that mold with Arizona softball throughout the Candrea years. I can even point back to, and I don't think they do this anymore for volleyball. When I first got here, one of the really, really cool things I thought for volleyball was they did this thing at the beginning of every match. All the girls would gather in a circle. They would put their hands, they would clasp their hands together over their heads. They would say whatever they say, pray, or give their little motivation. And then they would all drop their hands, clap, and say, "Oh, aw, kitty, kitty." And that's gone now. They don't do that anymore. And so, again, that's another Arizona tradition that I kind of thought was cool for volleyball. They had their thing. And I don't see that anymore. They used to do it before every set. I'm usually not there right at the beginning of games. I'm not sure they do it at the beginning of the game. They may now just do it at the beginning of the game now versus before every set. I have to get there early and see. I haven't been there early lately for any of the volleyball games. But there's that. Just little traditions that you see every time you go to an Arizona volleyball game, every time you go to an Arizona football game, every time you go to an Arizona basketball game. We need to find some things that can translate from regime to regime to regime.
Are you saying that Mr. Brent Brennan needs OKGs on his team? Is that what you're saying?
Hey, I don't know if that OKG. I mean, mantras like that, like
it all
like
has the
red,
same,
like red line, OKG. Yeah. What was Fish's one we were talking about the other day? I forget.
To me, it's less important about what the messaging is what the message is.
Right.
And the message of OKG is, hey, we might not be able to lure a 5-star defensive lineman away from Alabama. We might not be able to get a corner to come here over USC. But the guys who do come here want to be here, want to buy into the program. It doesn't matter what the messaging is behind that message. It's always going to be that same message, right? And beyond that, it's just how much somebody can get paid to design a business card for a doctor who lives in Pasadena, which is a part of that.
There you go. All right. If you have anything you want us to talk about, let's say on that. Are we losing? Are we not creating enough of our traditions that can translate over time in college athletics? Another thing, and just going back to my USC years, the band used to. We have a song that they play at the end when the Trojans win. There was a song that they play. It's called Conquest. You've probably heard it. And they used to only play Conquest at the end of the game when you win. Now they play it like throughout the game. Like there's times they play it generally when anything good happens in a USC game. They'll play Conquest during the games now. And I remember when they started doing that, and I'm like, well, no, we're only supposed to play that when we win. That was one of the great things about winning when I was in college was you knew you were going to get that song. And if you didn't win, you didn't deserve that song because you didn't win. Now they just say, oh, we'll just give it to you. It's one of our songs, so we'll just play it throughout the entire game. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. We're losing those types of traditions, the things that college kids can get excited about and say 30 years when I come back to this school, they're still going to be doing that. They're still going to be doing that here at the University of Arizona, or we're still going to be saying that here at the University of Arizona. And besides bear down, I don't know that there's a whole lot else. 520-848-1290. We'll get into that 5 o'clock hour. We're going to hear from Brian Urlacher, who was at the Arizona Bowl luncheon over the yesterday. Great chance to have to talk to a Pro Football Hall of Famer. You'll hear some of the things he had to say. DK on the Sports Tip. I'm David Kelly. JW Madden's here, as well as Dragon Ball. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. We have a hit and run reported over at West Tangerine Road and the East I-10's eastbound exit, so be prepared for some backup on Tangerine getting to the I-10. We also have a crash on the right shoulder ramp of South County Santa Cruz to West Valencia here. This one right off the I-19's exit on Valencia, so it's going to cause a lot of backup as we speak. Meanwhile, your weather getting down to about 84 degrees, continuing to cool down to about 68 here at 9. I'm Dragon Ball through Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Rooter Ranger 24/7 Plumbing, Sewer, and Drains. For fast, affordable plumbing and emergency drain services, call Rooter Ranger and get out of plumbing danger. RooterRanger.com.
888-7-RANGER. Get you out of plumbing danger.
If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-410-6744. 800-410-6744. 800-410-6744.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hello, everybody. Gary, why are you wearing a... Hold on, Ron. Every time Gary walks in here wearing some goofy costume, you always say, Gary, why are you wearing that? Yeah, but... And then it turns into some long-winded story about Alaskifications. Yeah, but... Then Gary says something ridiculous. Yeah, but... And you agree that an Alaskification before winter is the best way to prepare for cold weather. Yeah, but... And how Alaskan AC guarantees no breakdowns. Yeah, but... And all it does is encourage Gary to walk around wearing a stupid-looking ski mask that no person in his right mind would get caught dead wearing. Yeah, but he's wearing my ski mask.
Keeping my head protected, just like the Alaskification protects your heater.
My ski mask isn't stupid looking. Look who's wearing it.
I choose to ignore that remark.
Because you know another one is coming. Take off that stupid ski mask. See?
And that's why you should schedule your Alaskification today.
What did we accomplish here? I'm not sure, but today is a good day to Alaskify. Schedule now at AlaskanAC.com.
Question: why would you shop anywhere else for your favorite tobacco products if you can save up to 40% at Tobacco Barn?
I don't know.
Why? If you can save by paying no state sales tax and no city sales tax because Tobacco Barn is on the reservation.
I don't know what to make of this. I don't know what to say.
Plus, save an additional $3 off with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
I don't know how I missed that before.
What is happening? When you shop at Tobacco Barn, save up to 40%. That's 40% off your favorite tobacco products. You won't pay any state sales tax or pay any city sales tax because they're on the reservation. And save up to another $3 off with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com. Just our way of saying thank you for your business. Shopping anywhere else is kind of crazy.
I love it! I love it! I love it! Come on, Jerry. It's time to go back to your cell now.
Tobacco Barn, Nogales Highway just south of Valencia. Check TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you.
First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilder.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-738-9900. 800-738-9900. That's 800-738-9900.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus Media Station. The Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com. We are your home for Arizona athletics. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Final hour of our show today. Final hour of us in terms of DK on the sports tip until Tuesday, because we'll be in game mode on Monday. First basketball game of the season for your Arizona Wildcats in Las Vegas against the Florida Gators. And, of course, we'll have that game for you. We'll have coverage beginning at 1:30 in the afternoon with your Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show for basketball. Taking you up to 4:30 network coverage, Brian Jeffries and Ryan Hansen from Las Vegas. And then tip-off at 5 o'clock, the Wildcats against the Florida Gators. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Before we get to the phones, I want you to hear, this was a funny question that Tommy Lloyd got today from, I believe it was one of the young reporters from the Daily Wildcat. Let's hear this question Tommy got.
The first game of the year. What's your criteria and rubric for evaluating the performance on Monday?
Well, I really don't have a rubric. You know, this isn't English 101, so I'm sorry to break that to you. I mean, maybe I should give one. Like I told you guys.
I don't even know what rubric means. Do you know what rubric means, J-Dub?
I do, yeah. I mean, it's like a taking data and having a solution to a problem. So basically, I mean, I could look up the clinical definition of it, but it's just a plan of action and basically data points to have a conclusion so that you have construction coming from your errors.
All right, let's see what I'll let you know what Merriam-Webster says on that. Rubric. It's a noun. A, an authoritative rule, a rule for conduct or liturgical service. I don't know if that's got something to do with law. B, a name or a title, specifically a title of a statue. C, an explanatory or introductory commentary. So there you go. I was like, I have like that's I would expect that college kids, they're way smarter than me. I'm like, I have no idea what a rubric even is. But Tommy clearly does not have one.
Well, that college student has obviously been studying, so
good
for him.
Good for him, for sure. All right, 520-848-1290, the number to get in on the program. Let's talk to Andy. You're on DK on the Sports Tip, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Well, I'm going to help you guys with a rubric because I'm in education. And I can tell you a rubric is basically a criteria of what you want some of the something average looks like, something excellent looks like. It's criteria, and each box describes what an excellent paper would be, mediocre paper. That it's really easy. We use that in K through 12 schools all the time. So if you ask your kindergartner, they may know what a rubric is because they probably use it.
There you go.
All right. So, hey, I was at the luncheon yesterday. Fantastic attendance. I thought that Vibe was in there. Brian Ehrlich, what they did with him, sit him down and make him eat salsas from 1 to 1 million, I thought was sensational. I loved it. And the only thing I didn't get, maybe you got it, is that we bought tickets for baskets, and when we dismissed, I didn't know who won.
Yeah, I didn't. I had to leave early. Andy, because I was like, it's 1 o'clock. I got to do a show in 2 hours. So I have a ticket as well, and I have no idea if I won anything.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I spent $100, and I want to know if I should I throw my tickets away or what should I do?
Andy, I'm going to find out. I'll find that out. I'm going to send an email to our guy Eric over at the Arizona Bowl, and I'll see if I can get an answer to that for you before the end of the show. Because I've got it. I put in my ticket for that golf package up at Dove Mountain. I was like, oh, this sounds fun. I want to do that.
Yeah, and they had some really nice baskets.
They always do. They always do it. That it's a great event, that luncheon that they put on every year for the Arizona Bowl. And you're right. The whole thing with the salsas, that was a really cool kind of way to do it versus just like your normal Q&A kind of thing that you would get at in an event like that.
Hey, can I add one more thing, because it goes along with the traditions and keeping things lively? The way we keep traditions lively is keep them fresh. Like they did with Brian over there at the luncheon. They wanted to hear his life story, but instead of having him do a whole monologue, they sat down and they kind of like ate some salsa, and the person that was doing asked him questions about when he was in the Super Bowl, when he was a Hall of Famer, and we got that, but it was fresh.
Yeah.
So college traditions need to stay fresh and not just automated, like automatic and just without any kind of passion. So when traditions become passionless, you got a problem. You got to keep them fresh. So doing the same thing in a different way, I don't know.
There you
just
go.
A thought.
Great thought there, Andy. I like that. You got to keep it fresh and with passion. Thank you so much, Andy.
All right, man. Well, keep the good job. Keep the good work up. Thank you.
Definitely. Absolutely. Appreciate your call.
And with the attention spans shrinking by the day for each generation that's come since smartphones were invented, DK, keeping it fresh just means keeping young people not bored, which means, like, I don't want to hear this story about some guy in the 1920s, right? Like, that's literally what this is.
520-848-1290. Let's hear from Sherman. You're on DK on the Sports Tip, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Well, it's not Sherman.
Oh, okay. We got Paul.
It's Paul.
Oh,
in
Paul.
Phoenix.
Okay. Thank you,
hey,
Paul.
David.
Good to hear from you.
Okay, so Rubrik. All I got to say to that is 6'7".
Nice,
Okay.
Paul. I have no idea. I see that, but I'm not sure even what that means.
My granddaughters, they have to educate me on that one too. Okay, so I'll just make it quick here because you probably have a couple other people on hold. I'll make it quick. The one thing, when that stadium, the football stadium, is packed, okay, and things are going in our direction at the end of I believe the first quarter and at the end of the third quarter,
right?
When the stadium does the U of A, that place, that's a tradition that needs to stay, of course, and it does, okay? But it's only when the people participate. That place can get really loud. I remember it. I can still get goosebumps when we were playing Washington that day back in, 92 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. Amazing. Just to feel it. But going back to real quick to your school, to USC, we used to joke about your school. We'd say, oh, there you go, USC. You picked up 4 yards on first down. So you play the song, play the Conquest song. It's like, come on, jeez Louise.
That's the tribute to Troy song that they play on every first down.
Okay,
that's tribute to Troy. Yeah.
So annoying, but anyway. But you know what? As far as the only thing I will say is I'm still not a fan. It's the old man thing. I'm still not a fan of the Arizona. I'm not a fan of that. Okay. It is what it is. People like it, and also the people who still consider that we need to add BTFD. I'm not a fan of that either. It's bear down. We don't add 2 extra words on there, and it is what it is. But that's as far as other traditions. I miss the loot stuff that we used to do in basketball when it was always. I mean, the whole stadium. Nice shot, buddy. That was, to me, was
yeah, that's a good one.
That
nice
that was
shot,
impressive.
buddy. Do it again, buddy.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
like that one.
But that was
Yeah, and
organic, guys. That came organically. That wasn't something that was crowd thought up by students.
Right. Well, that's what I mean.
on
But
their
Jake,
app. It was organic. That whole thing happened organically.
Well, we need them all. We need the rest of the stadium, not just the 2,500, 2,250 students. We need the other 10,000 plus to join in. And if it means pop it up on the screen, somebody running the board, pop it on the screen. Right then you do it. Nice shot, buddy, and then take it down. It's real easy to do, and I'm telling you, the crowd will be like, oh, that's when we say it. Yeah, exactly, right then. That's when we say it. So,
my tradition I miss, Paul, is the one before Arizona became a great basketball program, which was back when they struggled. A lot of people would bring newspapers, and when the opponent team was introduced, they would say, so what, who's he? And there was this whole line that they would do. But when Arizona went to their first Final Four and another one 4 years later and another one, it just became like mean-spirited, right? To talk to the opponents like that. We act like you've been there before. And that tradition went away. Like as soon as Damon Stoudemire and Khalid Reeves went to the Final Four in 92, was it that you no longer saw that or heard that?
I loved that. I remember that. That was great. That was incredible. So, but I'll leave you with this. I don't know exactly who said it, but I will agree on Saturday. Let's win the coin flip, give them the ball, let's hopefully get a 3 and out, and then give them a good dose of about maybe 80% run plays, 20% pass, okay? And let's get this thing over by halftime. Let's get up on them 21-3 at halftime and be done with it. And let's move on, because we still have a chance to make some good things happen. And in listening to the folks up here in this city about their Tempe team, they're still talking how we can win our last 4 games and get bowl eligible. It's like,
they're gonna have to do it without their quarterback
and likely their wide receiver, because now that he realizes his quarterback's not going to be around, he may just shut it down for the season and get ready for the NFL. So there's some issues, but it's all good. And who knows who will be the coach for them next year and all that stuff. I mean, I don't think he's going to go anywhere for the money, but that's a whole other talk show. Maybe next week we'll talk about college football changes, coaches.
Let me ask you real quick. Let me ask you this question, Paul. If I told you that the Arizona Wildcats have run 486 offensive plays this year, what do you think the percentage of pass plays is right now?
I'm gonna probably, just because of the way you're asking, I'm gonna say about 55% pass.
Little high. 51.
Wow.
51%.
Okay. And I was guessing kind of low, thinking, okay, he's tricking me. Interesting.
247 passes, 239 runs. So they've only really thrown 8 more passes than they've run the football this year.
How many of those runs were Noah scrambling because protection broke down?
Oh, interesting. See?
So they're actually a little bit more balanced than I think a lot of people think, even though they're, quote, air raid.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, Daggy said that coming in. Daggy said he was going to mix it up. He said it wasn't going to be 80% passing. Before, 2 months before the first snap, he said it's going to be a mixture of run and pass.
Yeah. Hey, enjoy your pregame show tomorrow, you guys. I think that's great that you have that opportunity to go over to Coach's house and do your show from there. That's wonderful. And I'm looking forward to finding out where your show for homecoming is going to be. I'll wait. I guess you teased it, and we have to wait till tomorrow to find out.
I'll
right?
let you know tomorrow.
That sounds good.
Thanks,
okay,
Paul.
guys. Thanks a lot. Bear down.
Let's sneak in Sherman before we hit break. You're on Wildcats Radio 1290 DK on the Sports Tip.
Hey, fellas. Let me talk to you from the standpoint of being a former letter winner at the University of Arizona. My father was a national champion at the University of Arizona. My son played baseball at the University of Arizona.
Wow.
This is our 53rd season as season ticket holders at Arizona. And what you don't understand is that Bear Down isn't some trite cliche. Bear Down was for the players. That's where it started, and that still is. When I played at the University of Arizona, that was our mantra.
Yeah.
And it is also, if you're in sync with your teams, with the players that you love and the teams that you love, you're in sync with Bear Down. And I hope I'm dead when Bear Down goes away, because without that, you really do lose the soul of what the University of Arizona Wildcats are. That's all I have to say. I got to go watch a World Series.
Oh, there you go. Who you got? Dodgers or Blue Jays?
Seven.
Dodgers in
Dodgers
7.
in 7.
Dodgers in 7. Awesome. Thank you, Sherman.
You bet.
Speaking of that, we'll get you actually. Before we leave, there's something about this game tonight that could change the makeup of tomorrow for Arizona fans that you might not know about. I'll tell you about that coming up a little bit later before we leave tonight. All right, we're going to hear from Brian Urlacher coming up next. He was at the Arizona Bowl luncheon yesterday. It's not that we weren't feeding. I was not the one feeding him the salsa. That was Kim Adair, but we did get to pepper him with some traditional media style questions, and you'll hear those in the next segment. DK on the Sports Tip. Also Dragon Ball a little bit later as well. He's getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. We have a hazard over at East Broadway Boulevard and North Plumer Avenue. This is just west of South Tucson Boulevard and East Broadway's intersection there. Also, an incident over at West Tangerine Road and North La Cañada Drive with most of the backup there on Tangerine. For weather, we're currently sitting at 83 degrees, continuing to go and get the cool down until we're all the way down to the 68 here at 9 o'clock. I'm Dragon Ball through Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Starbucks. The pumpkin spice latte is back at Starbucks. Handcrafted with their signature espresso and real pumpkin sauce. Ooh. Then topped with whipped cream, cinnamon, and nutmeg. PSL. Get it while it's hot. Or iced. Only at Starbucks.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my 2 sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-738-9900. 800-738-9900. That's 800-738-9900.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
Hey, man. It's me, your furnace, man. Hey, can I get a light here, man? I know we live in Arizona, so I understand I'm not, like as cool as your air conditioner. But I still need a tune-up at least once a year, man. So get the best in town, man. Goodfellas AC, bro. Hey, anybody smell that, man? I swear it wasn't me. Okay, it was me.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
What you're driving right now may be worth more than you think, and O'Reilly Chevrolet wants to buy it. No matter the make or model, we'll pay top dollar today or trade up to a top quality pre-owned vehicle from our huge selection of used cars, trucks, and SUVs. We're on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or visit O'Reilly.com. It's pretty easy. We'll simply pay you more for what you're driving than anybody else. O'Reilly Used Cars, giving you more since 1924.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
There are many reasons you might need Dorado Rockin' Materials. A few bare spots in the yard. The driveway needs filling in. Or it could be that the yard needs a whole makeover. Whatever the reason, if your yard has the summertime blues, Dorado Rockin' Materials has everything from sand to boulders and every rock and pebble in between. If you need help spreading it, we have options for that too. Call 400-4233. Dorado Rockin' Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
What's up, guys? David Pollack here, former Georgia Bulldog, former analyst with College Game Day, and host of my new show, See Ball, Get Ball. I'm a defensive lineman. That's why that's the name. You see the ball, you go get it. We're going to dive deep into college football. We're going to break down film. We'll have bold takes, real conversations with the biggest names in the sport every single week. If you eat, sleep, and breathe college football like I do, man, I promise you, See Ball, Get Ball is for you. So do me a favor. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or Choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Hey, it's Mrs. HVAC. If you're anything like me, a mom, a wife, and maybe a little bit crazy about the air I breathe and the water I drink, then listen up. Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing has you in mind with our home wellness check. That's 3 visits a year to make sure your AC is happy, your plumbing isn't plotting against you, and your water isn't secretly weird. We'll even test your water quality because you deserve spa water, not swamp vibes. Let's keep your home sane, even if you're not. Call us today or book online at picturerockscooling.com.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports. The U.S. national soccer team closed out the October FIFA window with a bang, dominating New Zealand 6-0 on Wednesday. The match was played at CPKC Stadium, the first stadium in the world built specifically for women's soccer, and home to the NWSL's Kansas City Current. Head coach Emma Hayes fielded the youngest starting 11 for the U.S. in 25 years, and it was a 24-year-old forward who stole the show.
Headed up and off the left post and bounced in by guess who? Emma Sears left alone on that back post, and it's a hat trick for number 19 in navy blue tonight here in Kansas City.
Kate Scott with the call right here on Westwood One as Emma Sears' first career hat trick powered the Americans to their 10th victory of the year. Next up for the U.S., a 2-match set against Italy beginning November 28th in Orlando, Florida. With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Maggie Gray on Westwood One.
You like saving money, right? We all do. That's why Allstate just lowered the price of car insurance. Not, but wait, there's a catch. Lower. Actually lower. So if you're shopping around or just want to see how much you could save, check Allstate first for a new lower auto rate that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Do you have an invention idea but don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp today. We have representatives nationwide who will explain the InventHelp process step by step. Over 10,000 patents have been secured through InventHelp's patent referral services. The InventHelp databank includes thousands of companies who have agreed to review new ideas. We've been helping inventors since 1984. Let's help you next. Get started today.
Call 1-800-217-4380. That's 1-800-217-4380. Again, 1-800-217-4380.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. The Arizona Bowl will be December the 27th here in Tucson. 10 years. 10 years of the Arizona Bowl. Second year as the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl, presented by Snoop and Dre and Gin and Juice and all of that. Brian Urlacher was in town yesterday. The Pro Football Hall of Famer, 13 seasons with the Chicago Bears out of New Mexico, University of New Mexico. Lives up in the Phoenix area, and he was the keynote speaker at the Arizona Bowl luncheon yesterday. We had a chance to catch up with him before that, and he talked about playing football in the Mountain West Conference and what that was like, being a Lobo among things, as well as he'll dive into his friendship with Danny Gonzalez, the defensive coordinator of the Arizona Wildcats, his son, who plays college football at USC, and is the famed game that he played in with the Bears here at Arizona against the Cardinals that led to one of the best rants that you'll ever hear in college football or any sport from a head coach. Here was Brian Urlacher talking about playing in the Mountain West.
What makes the Mountain West special?
We got good football in Mountain West. You know, now I don't know. Well, it's breaking up now. I know there's a lot of teams going to a lot of different places, so I'm not sure how they're going to look like. But it's a very competitive conference. You know, we had Boise State in the playoffs last year. But yeah, it's just a fun conference, good football and good football players. A lot of guys in the NFL from the Mountain West as well.
How did Gonzalez said a couple weeks ago that he was roommates with you?
Coach G? Yeah, that's my guy. So I used to beat his ass all the time. Danny was he was our backup punter. He was our maybe our starting punter and our backups, maybe he backed me up. I can't remember, but I know Danny was a year older than me, but same class because I didn't redshirt. But he was a good teammate. He walked on. They ended up getting a scholarship his last year. Coach Long gave him a scholarship. But smart guy. Obviously he knows football. He's been coaching for a long time now. Really good defensive mind.
And what makes him a good coach in your opinion?
I think, number one, he cares. He knows exactly what's going on. He knows what he's doing. He's detailed. Gets the guys in the right spots. I think the best thing you can do as a coach is have your guys prepared. If your guys are prepared and know what they're doing, they're going to play a lot faster.
What was he like as a college kid?
Different than he is now. He's a college kid. He had fun. I'm not sure he's pretty serious these days, but he was a fun teammate. We had a good team. Not good as in winning a lot of games, but we had good guys on our team. We had fun. Really good coaches. But he's from New Mexico, so I think it was kind of cool for him to grow up there and then play there for his college career.
Have you followed what he's been doing here at Arizona and followed Arizona at all this year?
Not as much as I usually. My son plays at USC, so I'm trying to follow him as much as I can. College football is there's a lot going on right now, but I watch them when I can. They're on. We usually get the late night games with them on the last game of the weekend, so I do watch when I can.
How have you navigated this new college football landscape as a football dad?
It's not hard for me. My son's the one who's had to worry about it. Started out at Notre Dame last year, and then we went to 14 games last year, including the national championship, and then he transfers to USC, and it's so much easier for us because Notre Dame was not easy to get to. So we'd fly to Chicago, drive down to South Bend, watch his game, and then fly home the next day. And then SC, we can fly out and fly back in the same day, which is very convenient. But he likes it. He likes USC. He likes California. He likes the weather. But it's just this whole NIL thing has changed. You have to recruit your players every year. You have to, if they're free agents every single year. I like that they're getting paid. I think I'd rather them get than the NCAA. So I do like that. But it's just it's a different landscape right now.
Denny is using basically the same scheme, I think, that
we ran.
Back in the day, and he played a unique position in that defense. What do you like about that system, and how would you describe that position that you played?
It was great for me. It may not be a great defense, but it was great for me. It was 3-3-5 is what we ran, I believe. I was just the rover. I ran to the ball every play, hardly ever got blocked. It was awesome. 6'4", 250, running downhill to the football every play was pretty fun. Never got blocked. Played receiver on offense. I'm sure they've changed some things with the scheme because size-wise, you don't have big guys in that defense. I'm not sure how they match up front here, but the bigger guys you get, the more things you can do up front and the twists and stuff like that. But I'm sure he's honed it in pretty well. He was doing a pretty good job there at ASU before he left to UNM. They were rolling over there, so I'm sure they'll get rolling again here pretty soon.
How was it sharing the field with Lance Briggs?
Lance is a great teammate. We played side by side for 10 years, so it was great. I only played number 27 here at U of A. Was he a fullback as well here? Yeah, we talked about that when we played. But yeah, he was a great football player. 10 years, like I said, side by side with him. We had a lot of good times, I'll tell you that much, on and off the field.
There are so many bowl games now. What do you see when looking at the Arizona Bowl that has set themselves apart?
The climate's going to be great. When you come here, you're going to have a great week of weather, number one. That's why we live in Arizona, because of the weather. The food, it's different. The food is definitely great around here. I'm growing up in New Mexico. I understand it a little bit. And good people. It's going to be a fun week. We get to do a lot of different things around here. I don't remember what we did. It's been so long ago since I played in this bowl game, but I know it'll be a fun week and there'll be a lot of cool things to do.
Have you ever tried the drink? Have you tried the drink yet, the Snoop Dogg gin and juice?
I have not tried the Snoop Dogg gin and juice yet. No, I have not. Yeah.
I recommend the apricot.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. So going forward, I'll know what other flavors do we have? Do we have some good stuff there too?
There's melon and some other ones.
No. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Thank you. Appreciate it. I haven't got that far yet, but thank you.
You were involved in one of the greatest comebacks in NFL history in the state of Arizona. It was a Monday night game, right?
Oh yeah, the Cardinals. Yeah.
What do you remember about that night?
Gosh, I just did a thing about this a couple weeks ago. We were down, I think, 20-0 at half, and then we're down 23-3 with 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. And Mark Anderson sacks Leinart. Mike Brown picks up, scores a touchdown. And then we didn't score an offensive touchdown in the game. I know that. Then we scored again on defense right there, I think, with 5 minutes to go in the game. And Devin Hester returns a kick. We go up 24-23. Neil Rackers, who was like 37 for 37 the last 7 kicks or whatever it was, misses a field goal, and we end up beating them by 24-23. What I remember is how many Bears fans were at the stadium. We travel pretty well as Bears. not in the division because they don't give us tickets, but when we're outside of our division and on the road, especially in warm weather places, our fans travel really well. So I remember there's a ton of Bears fans at the end of the game.
As an opposing player, what did you guys make of Denny Green's comments after that game?
I thought it was funny. You know, I mean, we played him in the preseason. I think he was referring to the preseason game we played him, which no one cares about in the NFL, honestly. No one really gives a crap how you play in the preseason. Just don't want to get hurt. But they beat us in the third preseason game, so I guess that carried some weight with him. Didn't matter when we got to the regular season, obviously, because we played all 4 quarters and it's not 3.
When you look back on your playing career, what is your favorite moment as a player?
Oh, my gosh. The thing I miss the most is my teammates. When I immediately retired was being, you know, you're in the locker room pretty much every day with your teammates, your coaches. You have the trainers, the equipment guys, all the people. And then when I retired, all that was gone immediately. That was hard for me to kind of adjust to. But my favorite moment is probably winning the 2006 AFC Championship at Soldier Field. We got the George Halas Trophy in front of our fans. It started snowing there in the fourth quarter. We just beat the Saints. Of course, we lose the Super Bowl 2 weeks later. But winning that game at Soldier Field in front of our fans was pretty awesome.
Do you think you and Lance Briggs will both be in Canton one day?
Well, one of us is right now. We'll see if, yeah, I mean, it's yet to be. It's going to be hard, you know. I don't know the criteria anymore, honestly, to get in. Some guys get in who I think shouldn't be in, and some guys don't get in who I think should be in. So I don't know how it works. The media votes on that. I mean, he has all the credentials. You know, everything box you want to check, he has them all. I just don't know what the holdup is. We have some other guys like that. Charles Tillman's one of my teammates as well. Olin Kreutz, 8 Pro Bowls, probably the best center during my era that I played with. So I don't know how it works anymore. It's frustrating to kind of watch that process take place.
Do you campaign for your teammates at all?
I campaign for everyone I can. You know, if people ask me about them, I always, you know, when that time comes around, because that's, I don't know when it starts up, but it starts again now. They're going through the process, right? Is he a finalist again, or do you make the cut again, or however it works? I'm sure Charles did. I'm sure Olin did, and then they always get to that one spot. They don't get past that next stage. So whenever I have a chance to talk about them publicly, I always want to, because I think they all deserve to be in there. And it's only good for the Bears if they get in. The Bears have the most Hall of Famers in NFL history. So it's pretty cool, pretty great organization to be a part of.
You have a son, as you mentioned, who's playing big-time college football, so I'm sure you've had some of these conversations with him. But what's your advice to a high school player or a college player who wants to maybe be the next Brian Urlacher?
That's a good question. I would say enjoy the process, number one. It's really hard to make it to the NFL. Number 2, you know, there's so many things that have to go right. You have to stay healthy, number 1. You got to play. You have to play well. You don't have to get drafted, but you have to make it to. There's just so many steps you have to go through to get there. Everything has to fall into place. But enjoy the process. Don't base your success whether you make it to NFL or not. I think, you know, you're going to get a degree. There's so many good things that can happen even if you don't make it to NFL through playing football and what football can get you. So just enjoy that. Enjoy the process. Have fun with it. Make some friends. Enjoy your time. It's a great sport. It's a great game.
How do you describe for people what your week in Canton was like when you went?
Jeez, it was a whirlwind. It was. I'm so good. I'll tell you what. Once my speech was over, I was the most relieved person of all time. It's just you practice and practice and practice. And you don't want to leave anybody out. I left people out because they give you a time limit. So you can't ever get anybody in there in the amount of time they give you. You try to. It's very difficult. God, we got there on Wednesday. Maybe Thursday. I remember. Anyway, we got there. We had my party Thursday night. I went to bed at 5:30 a.m. I remember that. That was not a good start to my week. It was good, but it wasn't good for me the way I felt the rest of the week. And then we had the Gold Jacket Friday, then the induction Saturday. It was amazing. It's a whirlwind. You meet so many cool people. You know, everyone. I know most of the guys in the Hall of Fame already, but you get a chance to be in that group and be around them for the whole weekend. There's so many fans there as well. We had some great players go in my class. So you had Dawkins, Ray Lewis, Terrell Owens, Randy Moss, myself, Robert Brazile, Jerry Kramer, and Bobby Beathard. So great class, in my opinion. 3 guys on the first ballot, but it's a whirlwind weekend, and you just put so much emphasis on your speech, and then once that's over, you're like, okay, now I can relax. I was the first one to go, so I got out of the way quick, and I got to enjoy everyone else's speech and pay attention, so it was nice to get over with early.
Besides Lance, did you get to know any other Arizona football?
Bobby Wade was my teammate as well. I'm trying to think of any other guys. Bobby Wade is a good guy. He's fun. Is he still coaching here? Is he? I can't imagine that guy coaching. He was a great teammate. He was fun, but he was young. He was a good football player, but yeah, Bobby was a good teammate. I think we had him for 4 or 5 years. I don't know if any other U of A guys we had or not, but those 2 are pretty awesome. Though we got 2 good ones.
Is Bobby Wade still coaching here? I can't imagine that guy coaching. Brian Urlacher, ladies and gentlemen. He is a funny one. He is a Hall of Famer.
I only know one thing for sure is that after this next induction, there will be 5 kickers in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, probably, right?
Yeah, because this is the first year that Vinatieri is available, and he's the all-time leading scorer in NFL history.
Yeah, he's got to go in.
Got to go in.
Gotta
Eli
go in.
Manning's going to go in. There's quite a few first-timers. Marshawn Lynch is up this year as a first-timer as well.
Good stuff there from Brian Urlacher, for sure. I'm looking forward to I'm sure he'll be back and have some more involvement with the Arizona Bowl coming up as we get closer to the game on December the 27th. We'll start identifying teams as we go through the month and get towards the end of the season as well. 520-848-1290 is the number to get on the program. We have one segment left. And again, the World Series game number 6 is happening as we speak. And if this game ends tonight, it has an effect on tomorrow's Arizona football game. We'll tell you about that straight ahead. Dragon Ball's getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. We have a hazard over at East Broadway Boulevard and North Plumer Avenue. This is just west of South Tucson Boulevard and East Broadway's intersection there. Also an incident over at West Tangerine Road and North La Cañada Drive with most of the backup there on Tangerine. For weather, we're currently sitting at 83 degrees, continuing to go and get the cool down till we're all the way down to the 68 here at 9 o'clock. I'm Dragon Ball with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
AutoNation Honda Tucson at the Auto Mall is your premier automotive destination in town. Explore the new 2025 Honda models and extensive collection of pre-owned vehicles. Experience no-hassle financing and our no-haggle one-price selection. Visit AutoNation Honda Tucson at the Auto Mall today.
This report is sponsored by Rooter Ranger 24/7 Plumbing, Sewer, and Drains. For fast, affordable plumbing and emergency drain services, call Rooter Ranger and get out of plumbing danger. RooterRanger.com.
888-7-RANGER. Get you out of plumbing danger.
Hello, everybody. Gary, why are you wearing a... Hold on, Ron. Every time Gary walks in here wearing some goofy costume, you always say, Gary, why are you wearing that? Yeah, but... And then it turns into some long-winded story about Alaskifications. Yeah, but... Then Gary says something ridiculous. Yeah, but... And you agree that an Alaskification before winter is the best way to prepare for cold weather. Yeah, but... And how Alaskan AC guarantees no breakdowns. Yeah, but... And all it does is encourage Gary to walk around wearing a stupid-looking ski mask that no person in his right mind would get caught dead wearing.
Yeah, but he's wearing my ski mask.
Keeping my head protected, just like the Alaskification protects your heater.
My ski mask isn't stupid looking.
Look who's wearing it. I choose to ignore that remark. Because you know another one is coming.
Take off that stupid ski mask.
See?
And that's why you should schedule your Alaskification today.
What did we accomplish here?
I'm not sure, but today is a good day to Alaskify. Schedule now at AlaskanAC.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
There are many reasons you might need Dorado Rockin' Materials. A few bare spots in the yard. The driveway needs filling in. Or it could be that the yard needs a whole makeover. Whatever the reason, if your yard has the summertime blues, Dorado Rockin' Materials has everything from sand to boulders and every rock and pebble in between. If you need help spreading it, we have options for that too. Call 400-4233. Dorado Rockin' Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
Every day is a balancing act, with work, family, goals, all asking for more. It helps to have tools that meet you at every step and a team that will always be by your side. We're ICCU, We're a credit union that has been helping members achieve financial success since 1940. In fact, we put members' success first, one by one, year after year, for 85 years and counting. Now, we're here for you, Tucson. Join us, ICCU.
If you are a fighter, Modelo is your reward. So listen close. You put up with a lot, but you always hold it down for your people. You are strong, you are fearless, you are the baddest on the block. You are an elbow grease factory, a force of nature. You are not to be reckoned with. You are a ride or die, a powerhouse of productivity. You are a fighter, and Modelo is your reward. You've earned every last drop of this rich golden lager, so raise it up high. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Drink responsibly. Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Ugh, no, not the sink. Not now.
Plumbing issues can put your life on pause. But with anytime emergency scheduling, the Neighborly Done Right promise, and more, Mr. Rooter Plumbing will have your life flowing again in no time.
All fixed. Much better.
Mr. Rooter is proud to cheer on the Cats. Mention this ad for 10% off any plumbing service. A win for the whole family. Bear down, Arizona.
Mr. Rooter Plumbing.
A Neighborly company.
This is Zach Gelb with the Sports Minute. The Miami Dolphins have finally parted ways with general manager Chris Greer. However, Mike McDaniel will remain as Dolphins head coach for now. And at the end of the season, I would guess that McDaniel will be sent packing as well. Dolphins owner Stephen Ross is 85, and he's also angry. And who knows how many more hires he has left in him. So I expect Ross to go big fish hunting when it comes to getting the proper leadership inside of the Dolphins organization this upcoming offseason. I'm Zach Gelb.
Find what you love and love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly, B21.
Hi, this is Sarah at the Department of Rejected Dreams. If you had a dream rejected, IKEA can make it possible.
I've always dreamed of a beautiful kitchen, but my wife just wants to stay organized.
You know what they say about opposites.
That they can't agree on a kitchen?
Well, IKEA kitchens come in many styles with a variety of customizable organizers. So maybe you're not opposites at all.
Beautiful and organized. Now we just have to figure out what to eat.
That's a different department. Get the kitchen of your dreams at a price you didn't dream possible at IKEA.US/dreamkitchen. Dream the possibilities.
Find what you love and love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly, B21.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. We'll talk some high school football coming up, give you the schedule for tonight. There were some games last night as well. Dragon Ball is back with us. He has got everything happening in Southern Arizona on this first weekend of the turn to November.
Oh, boy. I can't even imagine that we're actually getting that close to New Year's, right? But just so you're all aware, there are some things going on tomorrow. I know we got the football game, but just some other things to think of for your weekend here. Dia de los Muertos movie night over at the Evergreen Cemetery. This is going to be at 4 p.m. tomorrow. It's going to be free, but they will have vendors out there. So if you want to go and bring some money for the food and all the different Dia de los Muertos kind of like paraphernalia, all the different painted skulls and things like that, you're definitely going to want to bring that, as they're going to be playing everyone's go-to movie for Dia de los Muertos and Coco. There's also going to be folklore dancing, mariachi, and a lot of vendors, so go and check that out, the Evergreen Cemetery. But there's also a 2000s Halloween party at the Rialto Theater tomorrow night at 9 p.m. It's about $21 to get in, but it's got nostalgic blast from the past, Y2K fashion, culture with the tunes of Britney Spears, Eminem, and a whole lot more there. So if you want to go and experience a 2000s era Halloween party, the Rialto is your place to be tomorrow night.
All right, what's on your agenda?
My agenda will be coming in here, doing the football game for the Wildcats, and then after that, go ahead and just try to get some actual sleep after the back and forth for the traffic.
Sleep.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, we appreciate you, Dragon Ball, and we'll see you here tomorrow for game day.
Sounds good.
All right, Dragon Ball, 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 has everything happening for you in Southern Arizona. Tonight in Tucson, high school football, final week of the regular season, week 11. We had some games last night. You had Mountain View shutting out Sunnyside 28-0. So they are on the kind of the bubble for the postseason in Conference 5A. We'll see if Mountain View's able to get in. Casa Grande beat CDL 41-24. It was Douglas over Catalina Foothills 31-28, and Tucson High lost on the road up at Scottsdale Cactus Shadow 48-40. The big game, though, was the battle between Flowing Wells and Desert View, and Desert View came ahead of the Cabs on that one, 41-23. Desert View finishes the regular season at 10-0. Congratulations to Robert Bonias and his kids on a tremendous season, 10-0 for Desert View, and they're going to have a pretty high seed heading in to the postseason. All right, 16 games on the docket tonight. Rio Rico will host Rincon University High. Rio Rico looking for their second win. There's a pretty big one up at Push Ridge tonight. 8-1 Push Ridge against 9-0 Phoenix Benjamin Franklin. That'll be a good one for sure in Conference 3A. So check that one out. Saurita and Choya tonight down south. You've got Marana on the road at Vista Grand. Tigers trying to finish their season at 9-1. St. David going to host Williams. St. David 7-2 on the season. You've got Saguaro and Micah Mountain. This is a big one as well. Both those teams are 7-2 on the season. That'll be over at Saguaro High School tonight. Sabino will get Safford. A little bit of a down season for Sabino. Haven't seen too many of those, but they will finish this year under 500. Cienega is on the road at Maricopa, looking to finish 6-4. Walden Grove hoping for a 7-3 finish as they'll welcome in visiting Amphi. Santa Cruz Valley at Glendale Prep Academy. Tanque Verde, we were over there last Friday night for the final regular season game. It's the first round of the 2A playoffs for Tanque Verde. They are the number 9 seed. They'll welcome Tonopah Valley in tonight. The Tanque Verde Hawks finishing the season at 8-2. 6-4 6-4 Benson, I should say, hosting Globe. You've got Ironwood Ridge at home against Buena tonight. Nogales on the road at Desert Vista. South Point Catholic will welcome in Perry. The Lancers in line for a postseason berth. And Pueblo will look to finish a 7-3 season. The Warrior Block, and they have not lost since they debuted their new stadium, and they'll be back home there at Santa Cruz Stadium tonight to take on the Empire Ravens. So get on out and support some high school football tonight.
I did get a text from Paul Obie after he called in, and he said, don't forget that NAU is playing tonight as well on national television.
Yes, they are.
Yeah,
that
versus Idaho, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
So good
NAU,
luck.
national television for NAU. That's not a common thing.
No. Good luck to the Lumberjacks. Time now for your Casino del Sol replay. It's brought to you by Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, and resorts. You also have golf out at Casino del Sol. Play the fabulous Sawilo Golf Club. We had a chance to catch up a little bit earlier with Mark Johnson. Mark Johnson is the play-by-play man for the Colorado Buffaloes. It will be the Buffaloes and the Wildcats tomorrow in Boulder. And I asked him about, this team as well as some of the things to do for homecoming for Wildcat fans in Boulder coming up tomorrow.
Well, there's a lot going on. I think they've had some schematic issues. I think there's been some talent issues, and right now they're dealing with an injury issue. Last night when I saw the latest injury report that came out, and by the way, I think Colorado, I was joking with Prime yesterday when we were doing our show that he is the most honest, transparent guy in the conference when it comes to his injury report, because every week Colorado's got by far the longest injury report in the Big 12. They're down, I believe it is now, to 4 scholarship players in the defensive front.
Oh, wow.
And so they have been hit extremely hard. And there's a couple who are kind of in the gray area, that probable or may not play area, and so we're waiting to see what happens with them. But it's been an issue all season long. And, last year this defense wasn't great against the run. It was solid enough. But what this defense did is they got to the quarterback. They led the Big 12 in sacks, and they forced a lot of turnovers with Travis Hunter and company in the back end of that thing. And so they kind of hid some of their flaws a year ago. Well, this year they're not getting to the quarterback and not forcing turnovers, and they're giving up a lot of yardage. Obviously, and last week's game was such an outlier. It was one of those perfect storms where it hit and just got ugly from the get-go. And they gave up over 400 yards rushing to Utah. And so that one skews things a little bit, but even with that being said, yeah, they have been soft against the run all season long.
It's homecoming Saturday in Colorado. Mark, what's signature of homecoming in Buffalo land? What do, if folks that may be Arizonans that are going to be there on Saturday, what do they need to see? Is there anything they need to see or be a part of there that's signature to homecoming Saturday in Colorado?
Well, I can't say there's anything necessarily that's really unique in that regard outside of the running of Ralphie, the Buffalo, but that happens every game. Friday night, they do a big parade type thing on campus. So if Arizona fans are in town, you come on into Boulder, you get yourself a nice meal, plenty of restaurants down there on Pearl Street, and you can work your way on the campus and kind of see the pageantry of all of that. That's kind of the big thing going on Friday night before we get to the football game. And football Saturday is going to be like it always is in Boulder. The weather's going to be spectacular. The Rocky Mountains are sitting right there, and Ralphie's ready to run. So it'll be a sold-out, fun show on Saturday afternoon.
All right, that is your Casino del Sol replay brought to you by Casino del Sol. And Casino del Sol is home to award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf at Sawilo. We'll be on the air with you at 11:30 a.m. from Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day, coming to you live from Little Mexico, the home of Fred Harvey. Looking forward to that immensely. Thanks to everybody that joined us today, Mark Johnson, as well as the chance to chat with Brian Urlacher for JW Madden for Dragon Ball Cricket as well. I'm David Kelly. That's our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. We'll talk to you tomorrow on Arizona Game Day, 11:30. You're listening to Wildcats Radio, 1290.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW Tucson Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Currently, we have an incident with unknown injuries at East Tangerine Road and North Oracle Road. A lot of the backup at Oracle at that three-way stop. We also have a hit and run over at West Ruthroff Road and West I-10 Frontage Road. So if you're trying to get the I-10 on Ruthroff, you're going to see a lot of backup on that till that's cleared out. For your weather, currently sitting at about 79 degrees right now. Continuing to go ahead and get cooled down before we get to 68 here at 9 o'clock. I'm Dragon Ball, the Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-410-6744. 800-410-6744. 800-410-6744.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey, man. Yeah, it's me, your furnace, man. Hey, can I get a light here, man? I know we live in Arizona, so I understand I'm not, like as cool as your air conditioner. But I still need a tune-up at least once a year, man. So get the best in town, man. Goodfellas AC, bro. Hey, anybody smell that, man? I swear it wasn't me. Okay, it was me.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh
fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The pumpkin spice latte is back at Starbucks. Crafted with our signature espresso and real pumpkin sauce. Then topped with whipped cream, cinnamon, and nutmeg. The PSL. Get it while it's hot or iced. Only at Starbucks.
Advantage Air Mechanical, the team you can trust. Call 792-9400.
When it comes to the comfort and indoor air quality of your home and office, Advantage Air Mechanical has you covered. Breathing healthy air and having reliable air conditioning is important. If you or someone you know is in need of air conditioning services or a new system installation, we are here to help. Advantage Air Mechanical, 792-9400. AZROC 214570.
This Panther Update is brought to you by UNC Charlotte.
After losing in a blowout at home to one of the top teams in the AFC, the Panthers now go on the road to face one of the toughest teams in the NFC as they visit the Green Bay Packers. I'm Jim Zoki with a Panthers Update after this.
Charlotte's momentum has a name, UNC Charlotte, 32,000 students strong, ranked among the nation's top 75 public universities, recognized at the highest level for research, unmatched access to Fortune 500 companies, built for a top-tier city. This isn't typical higher ed. The difference is scale. The difference is momentum. The difference is Charlotte, UNC Charlotte.
Trying to bounce back from their loss to Buffalo, Panthers visit the 5-1-1 Green Bay Packers on Sunday. They're coming off a 35-25 win over Pittsburgh. Tight end Tucker Kraft had a monstrous game with 7 catches for 143 yards and 2 touchdowns. Panthers linebacker Christian Roseboom on trying to keep him in check.
Yeah, he's strong. It's going to take more than one a lot of times. So, just slide of the ball. I think this league has so many good players, and he's one of them for sure. So, just being close to him on the checkdowns, but at the same time, just do what we need to do to, get off the field, get the ball back to our offense.
Defensively, Green Bay swung a huge deal to acquire All-Pro edge rusher Micah Parsons from the Dallas Cowboys. Panthers center Austin Corbett on the challenge that he provides.
Yeah, just a phenomenal athlete. He's got all the tools when it comes to an edge rusher. He's out on the edge. He'll come inside, over the center. He'll do it all from depth of linebacker level. Just a phenomenal athlete, and really it's the great effort. I think you see so many plays, him chasing things down.
I'm Jim Zoki on the Carolina Panthers Radio Network.
This Panther Update has been brought to you by UNC Charlotte, built for a top-tier city. The difference is Charlotte, UNC Charlotte.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus Media Station. The Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com. We are your home for Arizona athletics. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.